step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use. Every comment, hate that makes my feel. Gather up my energy and boom. I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with. Giving my blood, so I am relentless.
This is the Keep Hammering Collective, and I am with Jelly Roll.
Boom, baby! My first ever hunt.
On the Keep Hammering Collective. We've been wanting to do this for a long time.
A long time, dude. Yeah. And the fact it would be serendipitous or divinity, that we'd be doing it on my first hunt. Oh. That's the coolest part.
Can you believe this?
It's that, dude, us holding out to do it was right.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
This is just how it was meant to be. But you are a bow hunter.
I'm a bow hunter, dude.
How crazy does that feel?
Dude, we've been talking about it nonstop. It's like, y'all joke, we all laughed about it last night, but it's like, when you let that shot go, it's up there with the feeling you get of childbirth. You know what I mean? Of like wedding vows, like
right.
The I do moment. These are those moments in life that create those kind of feelings. It's life-defining moment, dude. Mm-hmm. It truly, in every way. And I also understand how you became an author now. Like, I've learned more lessons in 5 days in a blind with you in nature than I have in a year of traveling the world. You know what I mean? Like, just there's a lesson. What'd you say yesterday? It was so poetic. It was everything matters. Yeah. Like, was that what you said exactly?
Yeah,
it's like
everything matters.
Everything matters.
Yeah.
Like, it is so deep, dude. It's such a mixture of randomness, everything matting, still needing a lot of luck and favor in your way, understanding wind. Dude, I'm learning about wind in a way. I mean, it's just everything about this is crazy. For those watching at home, this is my first time hunting ever. And I'm doing it with a bow. I hunted when I was young, it's like child, right? On my uncle's farm, but never like really hunted. Here I am, a 41-year-old man that's owned a bow for 6 months.
Did you, when you were a kid, so you'd get in the tree stands and then you guys would rifle hunt and just kill like does and anything that came by, basically?
Yeah, you could down anything. And my uncle was a big quail hunter for a long time. He had a bunch of quails back when Tennessee used to have a lot of natural habitat for quails. So he had a whole ton of them on like 500 or 600 acres. So he would have quail hunts all the time. And my dad would go out there. I think I've told you the story, but I don't know if I've shared it publicly besides on my Instagram, is that, this will be fun to talk about now. So my father and my uncle were the tale of two men in a way. Two men that grew. There's a story that's said in therapy that 5 people, 2 people, 4 people can grow up in the same household, have 3 or 4 totally different experiences, stories, traumas, victories. You know what I mean? And they were best friends, though, all the way to the day my daddy died. My daddy took over their father's business, my grandfather's business. My uncle was just never into the meat business like that. He was honest about it. He was just way more entrepreneurial.
Was it meat, like butchering? Or?
Yeah, no. One thing about it is we stayed away from the cutting of the cows. Oh. We just like to sell them after they got cut. That's what my daddy used to say. We're not a butcher, man. That's one thing we don't do. We don't cut cows. We sell them. But it was a wholesale business. It started as a small sausage company. They would pack their own sausages. Now that's back when Big Buford, my grandfather he made their own sausage recipes, cut the pigs and everything. Okay, it was famous. Yeah, but yeah. My Uncle Buford said to this day that you ever heard of Jimmy Dean sausage? Yeah, they believe the DeFords could have been competitors with Jimmy Dean. Had Big Buford lived long enough to see that legacy through. Yeah. And then my father came in and immediately started seeing small grocery stores and small independent restaurants launching everywhere. So he's like, we should wholesale this and sell more than pork out of the back of one truck. Right. So he scaled it into a multiple truck business, and he was a meat salesman, and he did really good with it. But my uncle was just real entrepreneurial. You know what I mean? Just immediately kind of got into it really strong in investment, was really financially responsible. My father, not so financially responsible.
So that was the difference between
biggest difference. Yeah. But my father, not so. And Uncle Buford ended up earning a lot more over the years because of his financial responsibility. Yeah. He could make better investments. So my father would take us out there to the uncle's farm. You know what I mean? And it was like leaving the neighborhood that we lived in and going to this farm. Couldn't have been 2 further experiences. Okay. So you were in this neighborhood, you were petrified of guns, but in this neighborhood, you were given one and you were taught to shoot and cook it, you know what I mean, and cut it. So it was just such a cool thing to see as a child. You know what I mean?
Where'd you live in town, like in the city?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville. So I'm in Antioch, south of Nashville, 30 miles. It's like
Like how big a city?
Yeah. Oh, dude, like a couple 100,000 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I tell people I'm from South Nashville, but I'm from Antioch, Tennessee. That's why I represent it so hard, because when I had to write my mama letters from jail, unfortunately that was a part of my story, I had to write them to Antioch, Tennessee.
There's an Antioch in the Bible.
Yeah, there's an Antioch in the Bible,
Yeah.
one in California. They all feel similar, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah. So you'd come out of the city and go to the country.
Yeah.
And
And then I started getting in trouble, 12, 13 years old, and that quit happening because I was incarcerated. So from, the story, 13 to 24, pretty much, I was just a complete, low-life human.
What happened at 13? Was it stealing stuff or what?
It started shoplifting at 12, caught my first case just like at whatever the local Best Buy or record shop. I think I stole from a record shop.
Yeah,
I think it was
CD?
a Best Buy, though, or something. No, it was like some merch, though.
Oh,
like some
gotcha.
band merch or something like that. You know what I mean? Like just like a cool hoodie or something.
Yeah.
I was just looking for cool, I don't know. And then there was a lot of drug dealing in my neighborhood. I felt like it was very defined by drug users and drug sellers. You know what I mean? And I remember the drug sellers had girls and cars and the drug users didn't. You know what I mean? And I would end up still getting addicted to drugs later in life. But in that moment, I chose the hustle.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily great at it in my youth, so then I took other routes and made really bad decisions, and I went and robbed somebody, and that's when I got charged as an adult, which is why.
How old were you there?
I was 16 years old when I committed the crime, and I was charged as an adult then, which is why you got me into hunting, because I can't rifle hunt, which is why the story of my childhood hunting ends there.
Did you have a gun in that?
I did not have a gun, but a gun was used in the robbery, and I was with the people with the gun. I had bad intentions, that's for sure. That's what what I said at my own pardon hearing. I had my own pardon hearing campaigns to you go in front of the parole board again to see if they'll recommend you for a pardon before it goes in front of the governor. And the first thing they asked me was you carrying a gun that night? And I was so proud of this because I had thought about this for years if anybody ever asked me that. And I said, no, I wasn't carrying the gun, but I was just as guilty as the person with the gun. Like, it doesn't matter. I knew he had a gun. I agreed to this. I might as well have had the gun. You know what I mean? In fact, if anything, I'm glad he had the gun because God knows I wasn't stable enough to have one. I might have overreacted in the moment and made this a bigger charge.
So that probably screwed your case basically by being honest.
It doesn't help. That definitely doesn't help. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'd rather just be honest and say, you know what I mean? Like, don't give me grace because I didn't have the gun, because I should have had the gun. I probably would have killed the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I just totally was not in a space to, But that's that extreme ownership. It's kind of been the biggest part of my life change.
Is that, the jelly roll I know is like painfully always telling the truth, even if you don't want to. And it sounds like you did that. Have you always been?
No. Here goes the reverse of that. My first parole hearing I ever had, I was in complete denial. It was everybody else's fault. I wasn't even actually there, I don't think. I think this whole thing was blown out of proportion, and I should have been home forever ago. I'm a victim in this case. I was the victim in every case. My default was lying, and my other default was I am the victim. How can I circle around this being anybody's fault but mine?
You know, a lot of people get in trouble have that mindset.
Dude, it's such a it's hand in hand. Like, they should recognize that. That's what it took for me to hand in hand. Was like, why do I keep feeling like I keep presenting myself as a victim and stuff that I'm clearly the agitator of?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was me all along.
Did anybody ever say that, or was it just a self-realization?
It was self-realization.
Okay.
I don't think when you're that lost in yourself that somebody could be like, hey man, you're really lost in yourself. And you'd be like, me lost in me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was like it was the day my daughter was born. Whenever I looked around and I was like,
I remember seeing that on on that documentary.
For sure. I was like, I have nothing to be proud of here in reality. You know what I mean? It's like when you have nothing to be responsible for, you could be proud of anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got a bag of chips, which in jail, I was proud that I had a bunch of bags of chips and a bunch of soups, and I ran the poker table. You know what I mean? Like, I was proud of this. But then you have a little girl, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, I'm proud of owning $100 worth of street food in a jail right now. Like, this is my biggest victory in life, and my ego is hung on it. Like, I walk around here like these big bucks. Every day, I got the most commissary. Anybody need a soup? Come talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
I run this shit.
Yeah, it's like, how corny.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it, like, whoa, man, how lost was I really, Ken?
Right.
To think that was, you look back now.
That was a win somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Like I was in a triple loss category, and having the little girl made me realize that. I was like, dude, I'm responsible for this human. And the only thing I can halfway manage is a poker table in jail, and I'm proud of that. I'm like, I got to do something, man. I was like,
so what jail life though? Were you like popular in that? Because it seems like you're always the life of the party. You're good at. I mean, you can entertain, you can sing, you got great stories. That was like were you a celebrity in jail somehow?
Kinda, I think. So I think I might have developed the skill in being in jail for so long. Is that, all you have in there is stories and personality. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all you have. Yeah. Ultimately, so you sit around and you got to find a way to entertain each other. So, and I would, I was still rapping a lot and making music, and I sung the choruses. So I'd always do like freestyle Fridays in the unit, and I'd always be the one to kick it off and get everybody going. So yeah, that's always kind of been a part of my. Would they want you to do like? Oh, they'd gas me. They'd come knock on my cell door if I was sick on Friday. Like, bro, we don't care if you're sick or not. You're finna come out here and get this thing going.
So you had to put on shows,
dude, all the time. They'd come knock on the door like, dude, you got to come out here.
Like, oh. And then is that how you'd get all the commissary?
For sure. Also with the poker, so when I was on the streets, I would house dice games. Because my guy Jazz, who signed me to one of my first deals ever, like invested in me when I was not worth investing in. When I was like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid out on bail. Okay. But he would teach me how to house these dice games, and he had a studio. And the days that other people wouldn't show up to the studios, I'd go in there and write songs. But the days the other artists, what does house
the dice games mean?
It's like when you're the house. Ultimately, you're making sure all bets are there. You're the casino.
Taking the money. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And you just get a rake of it.
Okay.
So it's just free money. You don't put no money in. You're just housing the dice game. Right. But once I learned it, it was a hustle. Well, it didn't start by housing the dice game. It started by them giving me this was even cooler. They would give me money to go. The dudes that were gambling big would give me money to run to the store. So I just sit around all day. I did this at Street Flavor Records. I was famous for this in my city, where I would just sit at studios all day and just be like, I'm just here. If it opens up, I'm willing to rap or sing if you'll let me, and I'll pay for the time. But if not, I'm an accessory. Can I hang out? And I would just hang. So I'd be like the errand kid. Like, it'd be like, yo, go to the, and I was broke. So they'd be like, I just got out of jail or juvenile. And they'd be like, here's a $100 bill. Go get 7 juices and 6 cigarillos and keep the change. These were big drug dealers. I was like, dude, I'm going to make $65 walking 3 streets down. This is crazy. So I kind of took that back to jail when I went back in. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to house the poker game. You know what I mean? Right. I'll deal them. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure everybody's square business. Yeah, for sure. It's just, I'll just kind of stay out of the game. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't have to assume any risk, and they knew I was a straight shooter. Yeah. So that helped,
I've heard this before, or I don't know, maybe seen it, but do you think people because that is sort of success in jail in its own way, and you were successful in jail. Right. Do people that's as close to their success as they're going to get, so they'd rather stay there than be outside and have to start all the way over at the bottom and be like, I'm probably not going to get a chance anyway to do it right. So jail's best for me.
I'd rather be the best here.
Right, yeah.
Than be the worst anywhere else.
Right.
I think there's a lot of that, believe it or not.
Is there? Yeah.
Where for me, it was a little different. It lit a fire in me. When I left jail that time, I was like, maybe I'm onto something.
When your daughter was born.
Yeah. And not even just a daughter. I started having inmates singing songs back to me. Where I'd have a song you know what I mean? Oh, I'm stressed out. I'm just thinking about home. Man, I don't want to go home. I feel so alone. Oh, I'm stressed out. Or so I had this song like that. It was this kind of melody I would do. And so they would sing it in other units. And right then I was like, okay, this could be something. Yeah. This is happening. This is more than just people liking me in the unit because I stay out of the way and make everybody money. You know what I mean?
That's singing. You said rapping.
Yeah, yeah. But I would sing the choruses too.
Okay. So you do both in jail? What'd they like best?
Yeah, that was my songwriting. They just loved the songs. So it was I thought they loved the rapping, but in hindsight, I think they just loved the singing because that's what they'd sing in the hallways. But, for me, I thought I was a bad singer. And my thought process was when I get home, somebody will actually sing this stuff. Mm-hmm. So imagine a girl singing this.
And then, is that what your thought was? You'd write it, sell it, or something?
Yeah, or I'd do the raps, and I'd get somebody who could really sing the sing. Oh, okay. I didn't think I could sing. Yeah. I say this, and people think I'm joking, Cam. I did not think I could be a singer. It was the last thing in my mind.
Listening to you talk about music, you got Music Man on your forehead.
Yeah.
But you know music. I didn't realize you knew music to this depth.
Right.
You know, you talk about this jail stuff and people think, oh, it's just surface music. And yeah, he's got a nice voice, but you know music.
Yeah, man. I love music, dude. I'm a human jukebox.
Is that, I mean, is it just natural that
No,
first
developed.
it was passion, obviously,
Yeah.
but how do you learn? So there's no formal education.
No.
It's just being immersed in it.
Just being completely immersed in it. Immersion. Kind of like what you got me doing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this goes back to a theme that'll run through this podcast. I hope that'll inspire people of like, don't be afraid to go be the worst at something again. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't afraid to walk into a room and be like, I'm not a good singer, but I try to sing. You know what I mean? And be like, I'm going to be the worst singer in country music. And I knew that the first couple of years I'd be probably one of the worst singers. I thought, at least in my mind, I thought I would. And I was prepared for that because I knew that if I stuck with it, you know what I mean? That I could only get better. Like I could prove my value and my staying power here because I'm a good songwriter and I think my voice is cool.
When did that confidence come to believe in yourself? Because it sounds like in life, did you always sort of believe in yourself? Or when did the belief to be like, yeah, I can't sing, but I'm going to get better and I'm going to give it my all, that takes confidence.
Yeah.
When did that, did you get that?
Nobody's ever asked me that, dude. Thank you. Give me a second to actually chew. I would say that I always knew, even in my worst, the values my father instilled in me. Like I always knew that even when I was at the lowest of the humankind, that if nothing else, I believed in myself that my family had instilled enough stuff in me to get out of it eventually.
Through words?
Yeah, just in general. Like I just felt like I knew if nothing else that my ego, if I could kill it, I would just be willing to go work on the meat truck. You know what I mean? I knew that if I would kill my ego and really show up sober, my uncle would let me work at the dry cleaner.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't know where it would go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when you have that and you're coming out of jail and you really want to do it right, then you have a landing pad a little bit. You're like, you know what, man, I'm fixing to go like all out on this music thing. You know what I mean? But I truly think that it was like early development of just Christian values too, of just like the family, just like praying at dinner and just like always having this, reading the word in jail over and over again. And even though not living it, is still kind of digesting it and it's going in and it's like what's going in the body's coming out.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about that recently.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like just digesting this stuff. But I think I just got the confidence slowly as things started working. You know, I looked at little wins really dramatically big. When I launched my YouTube channel, like 100 subscribers to us, we celebrated.
Yeah.
We had a party. You know, 1,000 partied again. 10,000, another party. 20,000 party. 30 party. 50 party. You know what I'm saying? Like we partied every time that channel went a lick up. You know,
right. Celebrate the big wins and the little wins.
Little wins too, dude.
Yeah.
It's like to this day, I'm not on social media, but our birthday post did like incredibly well whenever you came and ran with me. And like my social media dude called me. We're celebrating.
Yeah.
Like that's huge for us. You know, I called you excited. I'm not like an analytic guy, but like, I'm like, dude, because I know what that really means. Somebody somewhere that's been through what me and you have been through that didn't think we could be anything other than a up.
Yeah.
Watched that video, put on a pair of running shoes for the first time in their life and said, hey baby, I'm walking to the mailbox and back.
I think more than somebody.
You know what I mean?
I think a lot of somebody's.
Yeah. That's the magic, right? You know what I mean?
You have such a way to connect with people. And that's why I'm sure that's what it was like in jail, because it's just like, it feels like that's just who you are. For whatever reason, you have a way to just connect and impact people. And as we know, you can be a leader negatively or positively, you know, and you have something about you. So if that's negative, there's going to be people you're going to pull negative. But if it's positive, like on the run, that's going to, you know, give us fruit for our labor, right? For our sacrifice, for our message, for whatever else. And I saw a lot of people that took that fruit and they're running with it because you just give them so much hope. Yeah.
Should we do it right now?
What's that?
What we decided to do in the blind yesterday that you blindly signed me up for in the blind, and I couldn't say no because I had a free day on the calendar.
I say we do it.
If you believe in me, I believe in me.
I say we do it.
So what you got? Is it the 18th?
It's beginning of March. I can't remember.
Is it 8th or 18th?
Or the 8th, maybe.
Okay, it might be the 8th. So early March, we're going to try to sign up for the Los Angeles half marathon.
We are.
Yeah.
Yep, we are. I know. So we're doing a half marathon in March.
I'm in, dude. I love it because I love that when we put this in the universe and we put this in the world and we spoke it, if we do the work, God will honor it. Well, that's how that works. You know what I mean?
And we've seen it now just in our friendship. many times now because
Yes, many.
you know we talked about this a number of times too. But you know you were 500 some pounds. I said, yeah, we're gonna do Pisgah together.
Yeah.
It's like that.
No, Cam. Let me tell this about who you are as a friend. I want your people to hear this about who Cam is. I hit Cam one day on Instagram. He's running up Pisgah, and I go, dude, do you run that mountain every single day? He goes, pretty much every day, sometimes X amount of times, a crazy number of times. And I was like, it's just a mountain. Does it ever get flat? He's like, no. He's like, but it's beautiful, man. You've seen the summit. I was like, and this is all in text. And I'm like, dude, it's beautiful, beautiful. He's like, you're going to run it with me one day. Dude, I was 550 pounds when you sent that to me. And I was thinking, this dude's nuts. I think I went LOL, hell yeah, or something like that.
Well, I think I said, maybe like either run it or get on that monument.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's a picture on the monument, the flex or whatever it is, and that's like to get to the top of the mountain is one thing, but then there's a monument, and then we want to be on that.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
And so we thought that okay, let's get you on not just on the top of the mountain, but on the monument. But how realistic was that?
Oh, dude, at 500 pounds, I couldn't have rolled up there. You couldn't have pulled me up there, and if y'all got me up there, you would have had to crane me on the monument.
I can't believe I see now we've been looking at.
But that's you as a friend, Cam. Like you believe that in your heart. Like you seen something in me I didn't see in me. And those are the little seeds of friendship that start changing people's lives. When somebody starts believing in you, when you don't believe in you, when you have somebody looks at you like, yo, man, like I think you can run this thing one day for real. You know what I mean? Like when you have people go, yo, I think you can do this 5K. Like I'll be there for you. I'm coming. You hit me immediately. It was like when I announced the 5K, you were like there. Yeah. I'll run it with you. Right. You know what I mean? It was like immediately. We walked it. It took us an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But like these are the little moments that make you go, man, maybe that dude it starts kind of making it's back to the big buck. You know what I'm saying? But in a good way. Yeah. It's not the ego way anymore. It's the confidence building way. It's what good friends do. It's what good values do. It's when you can reflect back, man. I love you for that, Cam. And I hope your people know that that's who you are off this camera. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you.
That these are conversations we've been having for years, 3-5 years now.
Yeah.
That nobody would know that we're just now telling the world. You know what I mean? This is cool as to me at least.
Yeah. You know, when you were saying that, I was thinking, and I don't know, it's not intentional for me to say like, I believe in you or we're going to do this. That it's not like a plan. And I was just thinking as you were saying that, I was just like, it feels like, and I think I've thought this myself, but I don't remember ever believing in me when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Nobody ever said like, you can do this, you can do that. You know how like it's kind of a joke that you can be whatever you want, your parents, like a good parents will say, you want to be president of the United States, you can be, but I don't remember anybody ever saying, I believe in you about anything. Right. So maybe it's like, you know, we always say that our childhood affects whatever, but maybe it's from that because as you were saying that too, I remember not just you, but like my friend Courtney DeWalter, she ran CIM down in Sacramento that True just ran, and she was trying to get the Olympic qualifying standard for the marathon. And I remember texting her just, I believe in you.
Yeah.
And she's like elite athlete. Yeah. And maybe it's just like, that's my default now because I didn't have that. Yeah. So I just want people who I care about to know that.
Let's think about, I'll give you another moment that touched me was Max's run.
Yeah.
When you sent that video, I was like, right now, you got to make a decision. How does your story end today? Right. And I was like, the insanity of Kane to believe in that kid in that moment to send him that message that would end up broadcasting the world of like a moment. It looked like, and at that point of the race, it didn't look like he had it.
No, it wasn't. You remember wasn't looking good.
It wasn't looking good right then. No, you know what I'm saying?
You know, here's the backstory to that. So the guy filming that race for him, his name's Tyler. He's filmed for me before too, but I didn't know Max.
Wow.
Didn't even know who he was. Yeah. Tyler knew Max was struggling. Those races are so hard, right? And he is in the depth, right? And it's like if you look at that, watch that film. I think it's called, it's called King of Moab. But there's times where he's walking and just dragging his. You know, he's got his poles that you run or hike with, but he's just dragging them and just like walking slow. They're dragging behind him. It's not looking good. It's like the pace is probably like 1 mile an hour. And when you got 200 and some miles, it's going to take a while. So Tyler said, hey, he's got Cam, I'm filming this guy. He didn't even say his name. He's like, but he's really struggling right now. Is there any way you could send me a video for him? And so I'm like, okay, who is this guy? So I went live tracking on the race, and I'm like, okay, he was here it can't be this guy leading. It's got to be this guy, Max. Okay, his name is Max. All right, I can make a video to Max.
Yeah.
And I'm just like guessing that's who this runner is. He never said whatever. So I'm like, okay, Max. And I'm just like, I know what it means to have somebody believe in you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm making this video. I don't even know who this is, but I know what it is to believe in somebody. And I made it and said, hey, and I didn't really have to know who he was to know that that's a critical part of this journey. And this is like where we make our decision on how's it going to end. It's going to end with just struggling and just barely getting in, which in a race like that is still like a win. Or is it going to win with what's your legacy going to be?
Ooh.
What's the is the legacy going to be that you were, all hope was lost and you dug deep and you caught the leader and you won this race?
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah.
And
I got chill bumps when I heard you saying it to him. He was like, what's your story going to be?
So now, yeah, I said that, sent that. They played it for him and he's watching it. And he had been following me and he's just like, no way. And he's like looking. And now we're good friends. Now I love him too. I'm so tight with him. He's like the nicest kid. And we've had a great podcast. We've run together. Such a good.
I watched some of y'all's pod.
Oh,
I love him. How do you say his last name? Jolliffe?
I don't know.
I don't either. Jolliffe. Yeah, we'd blow it. That's why I didn't say it. I just call him
yeah.
Jolliffe, but I sent him a message. I loved his story.
I know how to spell it.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's just a great, and he's really good. He's a amazing talent in ultra running.
Really cool story too, though, man.
But thank you. But it's like, I think the key is just when somebody believes in you, it just adds. It adds. Yeah. It changes things.
Changes everything.
You're like,
especially,
you're not just letting yourself down. You're like, God, I can't let this person down now.
Yeah,
So that's where those words, I believe in you, mean so much.
For sure. And I think it's also seeing that in that moment from somebody who's been there.
Yeah,
that hits so different.
Another key part.
That hits so different. He's in the trench of it like, man, this dude's been here.
Yeah.
Like he sat right here on this rock pretty much with this same pain and figuring out what he was going to do.
Mm-hmm. And that does mean a lot. That when it's like, if I hadn't done it before, then you can just write it off as like, this guy doesn't even know what the
It'd be like me sending him a message like, yeah, it's cool, Jelly's encouraging me, but he don't know what the I'm going through. I'm hallucinating out here, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's different, but that was amazing. He was 15 miles down with 40 to go.
Oh,
I mean, think about that. So he's at
my whole life, by the way.
He's like at mile 200. The race is 240. He's 15 back.
Yeah.
That's not looking good.
Yeah, for sure.
And the guy winning is just a stud. Yeah. Harry Subertus is his name, and he's a freak. So you look at it, it's like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's a way.
Super Max, dude.
Got the win, King of Moab.
I love that, though. But it's back to belief, man. And you sow the seed of belief in somebody when they needed it the most. I'm an example of that. Max is an example of that. Just, that's one of your gifts, man.
Oh.
God gave it to you in spades, brother. You might have had, what's weird about God's gifts is we don't discover them sometimes. Not that they're, but it molds us to have things that we can use to the kingdom. You know what I mean? Even the worst, because God makes everything good, right? That's what he does. His thing is, my buddy said, Forrest Frank actually taught me this. I thought this was cool. He said he thinks it's like jujitsu. Like even when it's going against you, it's just leverage for God to get you back in a better position. Always. So maybe some of the not belief that came from your childhood has made you be the guy that sows that belief into people in a way that they really need it at moments they critically need it. You know what I mean? Because you've been it for me, you've been it for Max. I'm sure there's everybody that works for you feels the same way. Every conversation I have with these people separate of you, they all feel the same way. It's just who you are, Bubba. You're funny too, though. People probably don't know that way. No, they know. They watch Shit Talkers Weekly. They know you're funny.
I'm just blown away. I was thinking, that was another thing I was thinking about. So you talked about, you had confidence. I just want to get this part nailed down. You also mentioned you read the Bible. So your confidence, because I was just thinking back to my childhood. I had, my grandparents owned a ranch, or both grandparents over in Eastern Oregon owned a ranch. So I would try to turn that into a thing for me to flex on back at my school. So I was just wondering if it was like this for you, but I would say, my family owns big ranches in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah.
So that was like me flexing, like, oh, my family's, big ranchers. Did that give you confidence because your family had the meat business, or did you have the confidence because you said you'd pray, or you know, from your faith, like as a kid? What gave you, like, how would you turn that into confidence?
Great, good stuff. I think it's a good mixture of all of them. Like like early values. Like even my daddy was just big on. First of all, my father was a hustler. Yeah, like an old school flat-foot hustler. He wasn't financially responsible because he ended up having multiple wives, and just this was the story of this man. He drank a lot, right? But he was a stone but a great man. Like core values, like took me to feed the homeless all the time when I was a kid. Like our whole life was like a benevolent man. Like he was the man in the neighborhood the whole neighborhood came to when they had a problem. Okay, you know what I mean? Like that's who he was to the neighborhood. That my mother was the mother who accepted every cousin on drugs that needed to get sober or was going through something. She had her own mental things going on, but like she created a house where anybody could come. If you were family, you didn't knock. The door was open for you. Come on in. Whatever you're going through, lay on that couch. Don't bring your problems in here. Sleep them off. We'll help you in the morning.
So your dad had flaws, but man, he had a lot of great attributes.
A lot of great attributes. So I would watch these, and they instilled good stuff in me, like sirs and ma'ams. So like even when I would first start going to jail in juvenile, I'd look around and be like, "Yo, man, am I the only one in here that's afraid of their daddy slapping the shit out of them?" You know what I mean? For not saying sir to this guard. Yeah. You know, and I had moments where I would buck the guards too, because I was a reckless, just egoed out kid. You know, that was just longing for connection. But what really happened is, as I got older, I had to really accept the fact that I was trying to be something I wasn't most of my life. And that's really hard to accept when you overly commit to something because you're just so afraid of not connecting or fitting in any way that you'll accept any kind of fitting in or connecting in any way you can. And that's really hard to not just carry as shame the rest of your life too. And a lot of people do, and they just live in that shame spiral.
So what was that where that wasn't you, but you're trying to fit in? Is that like dealing drugs, or what was that?
Dealing drugs, I think, was me seeing the hustler in the family. Like I had a brother that hustled and my father hustled. I think I just did the wrong thing, but my father also booked bets. So there was a blurred line about what could or couldn't go around. You know what I mean? As far as like,
he had principle too.
He had such a principle. I'm telling you, that's kind of where I get. People understand me. I've never talked about it this much, so I hope maybe people understand that why I'm kind of living that unique space of like I cuss and smoke a little pot every now and then, but I'm a big Jesus guy. Right. You know what I mean? Like I guess my daddy, you know, I watched a man feed the homeless. I watched the man end up when him and my mother divorced. He ended up marrying a Methodist minister. Still drank. So he kind of always was like this unique guy.
I trust people who don't hide their, like, everybody's flawed, but there's people who like pretend like they're perfect all the time. You're not pretending. You're like, this is me. Yes, I cuss. Yes, I love Jesus. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. It's
just who I am.
I want that over somebody who's fake half the time. For sure. Because they're hiding something.
100%.
And so I appreciate.
I think God would too.
You know what I'm saying? Authenticity. And it's like your dad, he had some, but the lessons that you talked about have been all positive. Yeah. You mentioned the negative because that was part of it, but that negative didn't impact you like the positive did.
And
from what I'm hearing.
100%. And I was the baby.
When I'm glassing ridges for elk or mule deer, I can't afford to miss any movement. That's why for the past 2 seasons, I've been using 6 Hour binos, and I absolutely love them. These optics change the game. The binos I've been using are the Zulu Image Stabilizing. That means no more shaky glass after a long hike, no more struggling to hold steady after you've humped it up a hill. With image stabilization, you lock in and pick apart the country in a way that just isn't possible with standard glass. I found more animals and saved more time because of these binos, plain and simple. And here's the kicker. Optics companies almost never offer discounts, but SIG is giving the listeners of this podcast 10% off. Just use code CAM at checkout. So if you're serious about glassing and want the same edge I've had for the past 2 seasons, head to SigSauer.com, grab a pair of Zulu binos, and use code CAM for 10% off. 6 Sauer Zulu binos. See more, hunt harder. Out in the mountains, there's no room for weak gear. When I'm packing out meat in the heat or loading up for a long-range training trip, I need a cooler that holds the line every time. That's why I use Grizzly coolers. These things are bear-proof, rugged as hell, and keep ice locked in for days, literally. I've had coolers on the trail, baking in the sun, still holding ice after hauling out elk quarters. That's performance you can count on. Whether you're running deep in the backcountry or just stacking meat for the weekend, Grizzly is built for that grind. Right now, you can get 20% off at grizzlycoolers.com with the code KEEPHAMMERING. And that's all one word. And I'm not going to spell it. Keep hammering. Again, keep hammering, one word for 20% off. Don't roll with weak gear. Go Grizzly.
So I had older brothers and sisters who, me and my older sister, I hope she don't mind me saying this. I love you, Shelby, you know that. But it was a cool talk we had the other day about moms, about our mom. We both had struggled with mother issues. It's something we share. I love my mother to death. We're super close now, but we both struggle with it. And we were talking about how different experiences in the same household. And Shelby said, I used to feel so alone in that house, and I was like, man, I hate that. She said, did you ever feel alone in that house? And it was such a cool moment for me. I was like, no, man, I had you. I had Scott. I had Roger. Of course. I didn't know, it wasn't until y'all left that I realized something was wrong with Mom. You know what I mean? Like, because while y'all were there, I was the belle of the ball, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I was a confidence booster in me early. But what I learned was these were all little seeds that were sowed that I ended up having to dig up way later in life. The confidence I was getting was from, like, in the moment was hustling. Yeah. Getting little pops in jail, people liking me, just being kind of people digging who I was as a dude. But later in life, the confidence I got was going back to those little seeds once I got through the trauma of my childhood. Because I used to only get on podcasts and talk about all the bad stuff from my childhood. Yeah. So this is so cool to finally be that shows the growth I've had in therapy in the last 5 years, is to be in here being more like, when you understand, like even at the worst of your parents, it was an effort more often than not. And even if they gave no effort at all and they were completely absent, at least you have the gift to try to do something today. Right. You know what I mean? And like, so even when I used to get really mad at my mom, I'd be like, man, I'm so blessed that I can do something today because of her, though. I can do anything today. You know what I mean?
When did you always have that kind of silver lining, or?
No, man. Started getting it years later of just doing lots of work. Yeah. Lots of prayer. The seed you sow, I read the Bible, the New Testament cover to cover, I don't know, hundreds of times probably during my incarcerated, because I'd have a little Gideon Bible that I'd have in the cell with me all the time, and sometimes I couldn't afford other books or have other books. And so I knew the story, I knew the word, you know what I mean? But I hadn't let it actually sit in me yet.
What was reading it doing for you?
I truly believe that it's like this concept of that I live now that I'm kind of trying to help some other people that are trying to lose weight live with is, you must sow positive seeds. Like I did understand that in jail. Like in jail, I was like, I'm not going to sit in here and not do nothing productive. Like I'm going to read. Right. You know what I mean? Like when I'm stuck in this jail cell, when I'm out there in the unit, I can play cards, I can rap, I can turn the TV on. But when I'm stuck in this cell for 12, 16 hours a day, 18 hours some days, 23 hours some days, I'm going to read. Right. You know what I mean? I'm just going to pump. I'm just going to try. Like even to this day, I can say a lot of words that I can write, but I can't pronounce. Right. I pronounce a lot of words wrong because I've read them for years, but I never actually, I missed all of high school. I missed the last year of middle school. Like I missed all of formal education. Right. I got my GED when I was in I was 24 years old in jail. You know what I mean? So I was just lots of reading, but there were some kind of blank seeds at the time. Or seeds I was using to weaponize, right? Like to be manipulative. I was just a horrible human. I was a convict. You know what I mean?
So how would you do that?
You would just try to, I would try to get information. I remember, dude, I probably accidentally learned more about the criminal. I have so much information about the criminal system in the state of Tennessee that I'll never use again. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Where I thought I was a lawyer in there. I filed my own appeal one time. Like I was that inmate private. I was just like obsessed with this kind of thing. You know what I mean? So like to me, it was just always. You ever read 48 Laws of Power?
No.
Don't.
Is that Robert?
It's
Greene?
A great book, and I love Robert Greene.
Robert Greene? Yeah.
And I think he is one of the greatest authors ever. I love his work.
Yeah, I haven't read the book.
But that particular book in jail, it got banned from the federal prison system because they were like using it. It was like further enhancing gangs in federal prison, and the Federal Bureau of Prison recognized this, that gangs were getting way more organized and manipulative and stronger because this book was getting passed around.
Is it a leadership book?
But it's like really about the dark side of power.
Okay.
Like how to manipulate people to get power your way.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember there was what I say now is there was a time in my life I wanted to live by the 48 Laws of Power. Today I want to live by the 5 languages of love. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like today I want to live by the Gospels. You know what I mean? But there was a time in my life where I thought the 33 Strategies of War, the 48 Laws of Power, these were the books that were pouring into me. Later in life, it would be Malcolm Gladwell's Goliath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be The Man Who Loved Clowns. It would be Mitch Albom books that kind of started softening my heart and making me be more empathetic about life and crying and seeing things different and like opening these emotions. I didn't cry a bunch until I was in my 30s. Like I wasn't a big crier at all. Like I wasn't a very emotional guy. And
were you just like, no, guys, you're just supposed to be tough. You don't care. Like if you cared about something, that's a weakness.
For sure.
Yeah.
100. I couldn't care about anything. I had to hit. Do you remember that movie Heat? I lived like that forever. Like if you couldn't walk away from it in 30 seconds and never think about it again, it didn't matter to you.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean.
Like De Niro and they're sitting there at the table at the end and saying that, well, whatever. I think he's talking about his wife, and he's just like, I could just leave. Just what it takes. Got to be able to walk out.
30 seconds at any time.
Yeah.
And I lived that way in every way. So having that daughter, it goes back to this. These were moments of like, I can't live that way no more. You know what I mean? I knew what I had to start changing.
What?
This is deep. Thank you. I never get to talk about the process of my change like this. This is cool.
Oh, it's super interesting because I see you now, and you know I see the old pictures and I see that's history. You know, you're holding your thing and the mug shot and the 500 pounds, and I see all that, but it's like I don't see that.
Yeah.
I see you being like when I explain you to people or describe you to people, I'm like, he's got the biggest heart of anybody I've ever met. So loving, so generous, so caring. So I can't even imagine this person we're talking about. That's what, but I'm interested. Because I'm fascinated about this transformation of going from the selfish, drug dealing criminal to the most loving person I know. And it's like, if you can do that, as 100%. We've talked about with all these things that we've, you know, kind of our anchors to our relationship, our friendship is, you can change, you can night and day different, but it has to be intentional, right? So I'm just super interested in this. But one other thing, I know your dad, he died in 2018?
2019. Yes, sir.
So when you were getting into trouble and going in, 8th grade all the way through high school, what was the conversation with your dad like?
My father was very, if you had to come to him he'd check in on you, but he would just kind of, he just believed, he was old school parenting. So he was just kind of like, yo man, I love you. I'm here. Call me if you ever need me. You know what I mean?
Well, like when you'd go to jail, though, would he
be
like disappointed or
he'd be disappointed? But I've been in juvenile my whole life at that point, so he just kind of, I hate to say it, that disappointment factor disappeared a decade before I changed my life. He was just like, you know what? I think maybe there was a side of him that had accepted maybe I was going to spend the rest of my life in and out of prison or die young.
As a parent, people are always going like asking about your kids. So when they'd say, "How's Jason doing?" I'm
sure he'd say, "Trying to figure it out."
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't hide from the fact I was in jail, because I've been in and out so much at that point. It's like, he's back on vacation or he's on one of them concretes. He'd say something funny or try to make us jinger about it. He was kind of snazzy like me a little bit, so more quiet, more intentional with his words. I kind of talk a lot and have fun, but he was he was still very intentional and funny.
Yeah.
But he, I think he just kind of accepted at some point that he just loved me, and that was big. You know what I mean?
Despite your flaws, he's gonna love you.
He showed up to that county jail, showed up to that wherever I was at every weekend.
Did he?
Yeah, every weekend.
Come see.
If he was in town, he swung by. It was a no-brainer. Unless he had something going on, he'd let me know, hey, I won't be here next weekend. I'm going to do this. I said, Dad, you don't owe this to me. Okay. He's like, I just love that I get to hang out with you, man. I miss you. It's just cool. He's just like really, and that's sometimes that just general support when you're deep in it, you need. And when you're in jail, it's a good time to get it because you really sober up to your life. Like it's, a real dry spot.
And he would never like be like, what the are you doing? He would never
not after I was, not after.
After a certain point, he's just like, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I ran away from home at 15. One of them cases, like it just wasn't no telling me. I was completely Tasmanian devil, Bubba. Nobody was stopping where my head was. I'm just glad God spared me through it. Because every attempt I made to kill myself, whether intentional or not, you know what I mean, was unabetted. Thank God. Do
you think God's hand was on you, and that's why you're reading the Bible like cover to cover hundreds of times?
Yeah.
And
God, it's great. I always think God's hands on us. I think at the time I was reading it just looking for hope in such a hopeless place. It was kind of what the jail, you know,
Did
what
it
jail
make you
is.
feel better to read it?
You know what was crazy? We talked about this last night. Was it actually was different? I read it from I had early childhood church, but not a lot of indoctrination.
Yeah.
I went to a Baptist church called Whitsett Chapel. I wrote a whole album about it, kind of, that taught me a lot about core faith, but not a lot about, you know, I don't want to say not a lot about Jesus, but just kind of core basic Jesus, basic Bible telling. I was a kid. I'd never been in church. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was basic, the birds and bees of the Bible. So then you get in there as an adult male, kind of a young adult male, and you start reading just the New Testament. This is what I keep emphasizing. Is I did not have a full Bible at the time. I had no understanding. Mm-hmm. And I started reading it from that perspective. And the more I read it that way, this would really come out of my faith later in life, would be like, I just can't read it any other way, but Jesus was just absolute savage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he was the most fearless and bold man that has ever walked the face of the earth. Like, me and you talk.
And they portray him a little differently.
Sometimes popular Christianity kind of portrays Jesus a little different. Mm-hmm. You know, they love to say he's a rebel rouser when it is convenient for them, but they hate when other people use his rebel rousing in other ways. You know what I mean? It's that very pick and choose Christianity that happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you don't do the pick and choose Christianity, we just look at Jesus for who he is. Mm-hmm. He was a gangster in a good way. He was a great guy. He was the epitome of empathy and love as well. Mm-hmm. But he was also a take no bullshit kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, he broke lots of laws in there. Right. He was a criminal in that era for sure. They were looking to incarcerate him. That's why he was killed. He was executed. He, you know, in this era, that's the electric chair. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I know people don't like those comparisons, but that's the truth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in this era, that's death by syringe. Mm-hmm. They're doing it in these. It happened multiple times this year, still in America today. Right. You know, so it's like, this is when we really look at who Jesus was. So I started seeing that, and I was like, man, this dude's awesome. So me and you joked last night. Imagine when you get that spirit, you go to church for the first time out, and you're like, question. We all read the same Bible, right? They were like, yes. I was like, the New Testament, y'all are familiar? They're like, yeah. I'm like, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We've all read them? They're like, yeah. I was like, where are y'all getting all this stuff from? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I get it, you know, it was a joke, but it's kind of real. Yeah. But I love where contemporary Christianity is heading right now. Mm-hmm. I think it's back in love and empathy. I think Christians are like, and I am a Christian, but I think the like popular Christianity is like back in the world again, doing it the way, like, it's not being preachy on corners and through megaphones. It's like through acts of service, through acts of kindness. Like, Christians are back showing up for people. You know, the Christian community makes up 70% of the world's giving, or 80% of the world's giving. That's amazing. You know, so it's like we're back in that space right now. So I walk a fine line when I joke about what was Christianity when I came out and what is now. I think it's actually really trending back. Yeah. There's always going to be extremes on everything, you know, but it's like, it feels like we're talking about Jesus in a really cool way again. We're not judging people on lifestyle stuff with Jesus anymore. We're like, yo, let them find Jesus. Like, Jesus, even down to my cussing, like, if Jesus really wants me to quit cussing, y'all, I'm back in my Bible right now. I'm reading again. It's on my bus. You know what I mean? Like, he'll come to me. Yeah. If he tugs on my heart to do something else, I tell you what, you couldn't have told me 3 or 4 years ago, this is how I would be talking on podcast. Right. You know what I mean? You couldn't have told me the first time I did Theo Vaughn's podcast 7 years ago, I was on there half drunk. You know what I mean? That I'd be on here today, like, having these, like, hey man, I was a scared kid that wanted to be a part of something he wasn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so much more like, look what Jesus has already done. Just real, Jesus is being patient with me. Why can't the Christians? Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's opened your heart for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about him a lot more loosely. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more comfortable with our relationship now.
I'm hearing, you know, to your point, like, everybody knows Joe's been talking about going to church and about Christianity and reading the Bible. And it's like, that's just one example. It's an easy, lazy example, but I've seen it a lot more lately. Sure. It feels like there's definitely a movement. There's a movement happening.
And it's really cool because churches are also opening their doors again. Like, yo, don't run people off. You know what I mean? Like, the church is back being like, let them come, let them sit, let God meet them where they are. Quit expecting people to be the Christian, you know, because, like, dude, I talk to people that are, you know, I've been lucky to have a guy like Brandon Lake come into my life who grew up in a father who preached household, Christian his whole life, been through and won so many awards, Grammys, Doves. I mean, he's been a face of Christian country music and Christian music forever come into my life and pour into me. You know what I mean? And it's like, and he looks at me like, dude, if we're talking about Christianity, yeah, you've read the Bible a lot, but you're baby in faith. You know what I mean? Like take your time, dude. Don't judge yourself against what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, that's not a realistic barometer. It'd be like if I judged my shot last night out of that blind on your shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my first ever shot on a live animal in front of me, it's no comparison to what you've done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then when I see it that way, I get relaxed. I'm like, oh, I'm right, dude. If I kill 20,000 animals, I can be Cam Hanes.
Yeah.
If I really chose to wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to dedicate my life to bow hunting, 10, 15 years from now, me and you'd be out there, you'd be like, dude, you're an absolute nut out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I believe that. So it's really kind of that same thing in faith.
Right.
It's like, I love that this has a theme through this pod that's like, just don't be afraid to start wherever you are.
Yeah. No, we talked about it being on the path.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where on the path you jump on, but hey, we're heading the right direction finally.
We're in the right direction.
And that's like, even when I go to church, it's like there's some days I feel like my faith is super strong. I feel like I'm very happy and very content and I got it and I'm like making good decisions. And then I go to church on Sundays and there's some Sundays and Rick Reeves is a pastor there and the sermon's great, everything's good, and I'm sitting there. Then we're supposed to take communion, and I usually go in the back just so I can just think by myself. And I'm just standing there, and I'm just always just like, help me be the man I'm supposed to be, the leader I'm supposed to be, the husband, the father I'm supposed to be, because I know when I look in the mirror what I'm supposed to do, but I have thoughts, and I'm just like, they're not like. You have these things, and you're just like, God, I'm weak. I made the shitty decision. I know better, but I did. So I'm just like, I'm back there, and I'm like, please just help me. Jesus, help me just be who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And it's hard.
It's hard.
That shit is hard.
Super hard.
And then it's like, it's hard not to want to beat yourself up when you're not living right.
For sure.
Or even like, to me, it's even like, I can act like, even you've had examples and like, oh, you believed in me, you said I could do it, but I know when I look in the mirror that I feel like a piece of shit half the time. Because I'm like, I'm acting and trying to be the best friend, trying to be somebody anybody could count on, but I know like I have doubts in myself. Right. And I'm just like, am I a fraud? Am I really a piece of shit? But I'm like acting like I'm nice to, Right. It's like, it's hard to, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, more than you'll ever know. And dude, that's so cool for you to be that vulnerable too. Because we all feel that way.
Yeah.
We're all a prisoner of our own thoughts in those minds. And like,
right.
Dude, you're a great guy, bro. You know what I mean? You're one of the best men I've ever met. And that's because you're so self-reflective that you'll sit around and go, am I tripping? Just, man, dude. I know that feeling deep, and somebody told me this: you got to give yourself grace in between your ears. You know what I mean? Like, we are only held accountable for what comes out of our mouth, not what we think. We got to take those thoughts captive. We're just responsible for batting them down as quick as they come.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But we're not like, I don't have no control over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes sense.
What I do have control over is immediately going like, I rebuke that thought. That's not real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even going to let that thought sit here, because I know that feeling all the time. I know you got to feel it too. I used to hear the word imposter syndrome and be like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
And then you get successful and you're like, even now I'm like, how in the I end up on a bow hunting trip with Cameron Hanes? You know what I mean? I'm like, well, this is insane to me that this is where I'm sitting. Like, how did I, so everything you and then you, even every day here, I've had to what you're saying right now is something I've had to fight here for the first time in a long time, because I'm so out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm so in a place I've never been. The stakes were so much higher than anticipated. It's so much more. It's so exhilarating. It is so intensely, beautifully up and down, and just such a range of emotions, to sit in just a little blind and feel every single human emotion. And then you come back and you're like, dude, I'm embarrassing myself in front of all these guys. I don't know anything about this. And then you got to be like, you know what? I'm not supposed to, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, of course.
Give yourself grace.
Yeah, like I gave myself grace.
Yeah.
I was beating myself to death last night. I woke up this morning in a way better mood. You know what I mean?
Well, Jerry and I were just talking about it too, but that your attitude is we go on these hunts, everybody has a goal, everybody wants to get a big buck and get that, the photo, and it's just like, you want this, I hope I don't want this, but we seek validation for our efforts. If we do good work, we want people to say, you did good job. And so sometimes that's dominating our stuff, but we're talking, you have this ups and downs, the high stakes, the learning, but you've had a positive attitude, at least exhibited outwardly, the whole time. Even with the mistakes, even with the what you don't know what to do, you're asking what to do, or you're trying to make a good decision, but you've still given yourself grace and you've had a positive attitude. And even if we fail or we make a mistake, you're like, it's okay, that's okay, we're gonna, and I've tried to be that too, but you're the one who's in control of how you feel. You're the newbie. This is brand new experience, and you've been so giving yourself so much grace and had such a positive attitude about it. It's blown me away because everybody has these goals, and it's like, you can say whatever and say, oh, I'm going to this best place in the world to whitetail hunt, and you'd say, I want to kill a big buck, and that's it. That's the only. But you have other goals. You're like, no, I'm trying to learn. This is just, even if I fail, it's a win.
It's a win.
And
every time we stood in there, we
say stuff
learned.
like that all the time, and don't. But you can tell their body language or their words. You're like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm seeing a different.
Right.
Your body's telling me something different. You believe that.
No, I believe, and the cool thing is I've got to prove it every time we get in a blind. Yeah. Because every time I've made very few of the same mistakes twice. You know what I mean? Every time I'd make one, I'd be like, yo, that was that. Cool. We get out, we decompress about it. I'd be like, yo, I think this is where I blew it. You think? You're like, yep, this is it. And we'd have these really cool moments, and I'd be like, cool. So the next day, even just little things, positioning, sitting, drawing back. Remember the first time I went to draw back on something? Remember it went right here, right to my chin and straight back forward. Lucky I had it.
Yeah.
God, it could have been a disaster. Draw number one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was and then when I did draw it back, I clanked it and ran the whole, you know what I mean? It's like, these are things that, once again, I've been standing in front of a target for 6 months. The 6 months I've had a bow, and that thing doesn't move, breathe, or stare at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's and I'm smacking it this will be different. When that heart rate's at 199 in your throat,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're just going, breathe.
That big old buck's just staring at you.
He takes a bite and looks over his shoulder, and you're like, dude, what if he just rams here? I had that thought the first night. That's how green I was. I was like, can me and Cam kill this thing if he runs in this blind? I was like, what are we going to do, stab him? You know what I'm saying? I had this, and I was like, what are you thinking, you
yeah.
But it's it's cool. I truly love it because that's the grace I learned to give myself. I learned to give others. I'm trying to do better at giving it to others. But I really, once again, I'm not responsible for what I think. I'm responsible for how long I let myself think it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Bad thoughts happen to all of us. Right, how long I ruminated them, that's on me. Yeah. I can control that.
Right.
I can't control one popping up. I can control sitting in it for 12 hours.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So what I can do, I learned this in therapy. When that bad thought pops up, it's like, all right, what is this thought? Why is it here? Mm-hmm. What do I need to make peace with about the thought? Or just sometimes I just use Jesus. Man, get that away from me. Saying I rebuke that in the name of God. Mm-hmm. I don't even want that thought near me. Mm-hmm. And just immediately refocus thought, because when you can give yourself grace, you can live in reality too. I live in a reality of I've never bow hunted. I haven't shot a rifle since I was 12, 10 years old or something. You know what I mean? In a real way. And then you're hunting from 150 yards away. Dude, getting that close to these animals, Cam, I see why you've chased this high your whole life. Mm-hmm. There is nothing like the true, it's majestic. I'm looking at a deer, so I can't imagine how you feel when y'all see an elk that close. You know what I mean? Of just deer look like dinosaurs to me when I'm sitting in that blind.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what an elk would look like. I can't wait till we go elk hunting.
I can't either.
And that's why everything's a win for me, because I know what I'm working towards. It's me and you talked about this. It was if I had to judge what my running history was going to look like based on the first 5K that me and you did together, everything would have said I was never going to be a runner.
Yeah.
Everything said we wouldn't be on your podcast announcing we're going to do a half marathon. You're going to run with me on my first half marathon attempt. You know what I mean? None of that would have said that. You'd have seen a 470-pound man walking a 5K with his boy Cam Haynes and Philip Franklin Lee on the Two Bears 5K with Bert and Tom, and you'd have thought that was cool of Joe to give that a try. It took him an hour and 27 minutes. I think Chris Porter timed us at an hour and 30 something. You know what I mean? You would have never thought that me and you would run a 10K in the dirt, all hills, together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Out here on this farm. So I have that. I also have a proven history now to myself. I was talking about this on Joe's podcast of telling myself we're going to do stuff and doing it. Mm-hmm. Where I used to tell myself we was going to do stuff and we didn't do it. So then my body started being like, "F you, fatty. I'm not listening to you, man. You don't never tell me the truth." You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned that, I think that was with your family when they were out there on that run that you did and they were cheering for you. Your first, I don't know if it's your first run, but you're saying that they had no reason to believe in you. You hadn't given them any reason. You'd been lying to yourself your whole life.
Yep.
And
my body had no reason to listen to me.
Your body knew that, oh, yeah, he thinks this stuff all the time, never happens.
Never happens.
Whatever. Used to basically not being true to your word to yourself.
To yourself.
And then your family was used to you probably saying stuff and never doing it.
Never doing it. I lied to them.
Right. So how that change? How?
You slowly start building a rapport with yourself.
Okay.
And this is what I tell people. It's what my therapist taught me, Mary B. and Miles from Onsite. Miles is like a mentor to me. You start little things you tell yourself you're going to do and you do them. You just that easy. Like for me, it was real simple. Gary Brecker said, get in a cold plunge and walk 10,000 steps a day. I'm too fat to walk 10,000 steps. I'm going to get in this cold plunge because I'm a man. I should be able to sit in cold water for 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm going to walk a half mile. I don't care what the weather is. I'm going to do it outside because I need sunlight. If I ever write a book, this will be a chapter in it, but it's like I adopted the cliches too. You know what I mean? Like the fun cliches. You see all the real dudes say it. Like Huberman's like, wake up and get in the sun. Yeah. You want to battle depression? Just go look at the sun. Right. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, this is a neuroscientist telling us this. You know what I mean? Like, I should do this. Yeah. You know, so it's as simple as but it's a cliche. You hear it your whole life. Like, you don't feel good, just go take a walk in nature. Right. It's like, yeah, if that would solve my problems, Linda, I'd just go walk in nature. You know, that's that victim mentality, right? You don't know what I've been through, Linda, you know? And then it's like you start walking through nature and you're like, ooh, I actually do feel better. Happening. I feel better out here. I was like, I'm in a better mood. Yeah. I'm a better husband because I took a little walk in the sunlight and thought about my day and how I was going to, and then, you know, so I just started telling my body what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. And then and then it gets deep. Then I started being able to manifest more. Then I started telling my mind what we were going to do. I was like, look, we know it's going to take a while for the body to get here. Yeah. But I need you to start thinking now.
Like, what's an example of that?
SummerSlam.
Okay.
When I fell down, when I got the choke slam Austin Theory and I got up from them ropes, and I was, you know, big, and the Miz and R-Truth helped me up. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, right then I started telling my mind, like, we're going to wrestle. I'm embarrassed right now of how this just happened. Like, I got to do something about this. Like,
they had to help you up?
Yeah, for sure. That I was just so big I couldn't even get myself up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just the basic ability to be so fat. Like, I'm responsible for a full family out here, Cam. Yeah. And I'm not even a man enough to be able to get myself up in a timely enough fashion. You know what I mean? That they needed to help me to get me out of there for the TV had to cut. Yeah. Like, you know, and I asked them to help me. What's even worse, before I went out there, I knew this was going to be a problem. Yeah. I was like, hey, y'all, when we hit the 5-knuckle shuffle, help your boy. Yeah. That's a big, you know, I don't know anything. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up. You know what I mean? Or I might have to roll out of the ring. I'm not sure. You know, that's a super like, and I remember feeling that feeling and sitting with it for a minute. And I was telling the body to do little stuff at the time. And I was like, this is where I'm going to start challenging the mind. I was like, I want you to start focusing on Logan Paul jumping off that top rope through a table on you. And I literally, everybody talks about manifestation. I didn't really start truly trying to manifest. I've always manifested things in a real way, but it was more in like a natural, just like belief of going forward way. This was me starting to be like, I want to see Logan Paul off that top rope.
But explain the difference.
Well, so now I got to start telling the body, because you can't confuse the body. Like, but for me at least, I can't tell the body, we're going off the top rope next year. The body's going to be like, fuck you, we couldn't stand up.
Prepare your body, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting my mind strong. Okay, yeah. I'm getting my mind like, because if I can start seeing it up here. Yeah. Because I remember this. Somebody used to be like, have you ever imagined yourself skinny? I couldn't see it. That's why I shaved my face. Okay. I couldn't even imagine it. Like at my biggest, I couldn't imagine myself skinny. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, but I realized I was trying to imagine. My mind wasn't ready to go that far. My body already didn't believe anything my mind was doing. So my body double laughed when my mind thought that. You know what I mean? I had to start really small with just like little wins. Like,
I'm Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll's not skinny.
First, you know what I mean? The body's like, you, dude. So there would be little things like I'm not going to eat one thing besides what's on my diet plan today. Like just today, like a drug addict. I went back to like how I would when I first got sober. I started applying all these real
Like a
core
12
cliche
steps
principles.
type thing,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Just one day at a time. Just the old school, like today. What I love about real alcoholics and addicts, when you meet us, we're like, the dudes are if you ask them how many years they've been sober, they'll tell you, but they're like, all that really matters is I've been sober today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of
every
those
day.
years don't matter. They don't carry them like a trophy because they know that they could f it up today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that was the mentality of like, I'm going to eat good today. You know, like even out here, I gave myself grace. If I wanted to eat some of Miss Robin's biscuits one morning, I would have.
Those
but
biscuits are good.
and I was okay with that if I didn't.
Yeah.
If I did or I didn't. But I woke up every day and I told my mind, I was like, you know what? Because I gave myself the choice to eat the biscuits, I'm not. Today I'm going to choose. Today I'm going to choose. You know what I mean? Like, and I just continue to push. So I still live that very today thing, especially with my eating.
Yeah.
Like I just got to eat good today. That's all that really matters. I got to
understand.
make good decisions. Like the only food decision I got to make today is one. It's dinner, and I'm going to make a good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's my next meal. Just that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I like that. It's yeah, I mean, it just has me wondering, so 500 pounds, need help to get up, all this, and this was after you've actually made some gains. You did the 5K. Where does it turn into like an ultra marathon? Like
Ooh.
you know what I mean?
Big
where
goals.
does that happen? Is it the small wins along
Hold on,
the
see,
way?
that's I'm sorry to cut you off, but you just made me see a good example because we talked about it privately.
Yeah.
I've sent Cam Haynes a message. We should, I don't know if we should post it now or save it for a real good time. But when I see him, I'm like, bro, we're going to run an ultra marathon together one day. Like I'm that dialed into this thing, you know? And I think it's like, once again, it's me telling my mind is already like, you're going to do a marathon. But my mind's also, but my mind's smart enough. That's what it's thinking forward. But backwards, it's telling the body, you're just getting ready for a half marathon in March, baby.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, you just tell yourself you're going to, because you know what? You're going to do it.
Well, it's like it's like the eating. It's one day at a time. It's like you can't do that half marathon unless you can do a run every day.
For sure.
Or get out there to get some steps or be active or eat well. You're not going to do that unless you do today.
Today. Exactly. It starts with breakfast. I got to eat it. Okay. It starts with waking up. I still fasted run for my first, because I still do 3 to 5 a day. So it's like easier that way for me. Yeah. So I still just wake up, drink a little water, hop on the treadmill, go get in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I won that first battle. First battle done. Only got one other battle. I'm gonna go eat breakfast, and at that point I done did my run. So all I'm thinking about on my run is how good breakfast is gonna be. Not a bad one. I don't want to put biscuits in me after I ran. Yeah. I just went out here and fought all my demons this morning. You think I want a biscuit, dude? I beat the devil this morning, dude. No, I'm ahead. Somebody got a kale salad for me this morning.
Money right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm on the up, you know. So it's like I'm already winning.
Right.
The momentum is pushing. You know what I mean? And this is my biggest thing to big people, and this is where I want to be really honest with them. That first year, if you're over 500 pounds or 400 pounds, is really miserable. You don't enjoy one bit of the process besides what you see happening. You will enjoy the
changes,
but every walk miserable.
Yeah,
the pain miserable, sleeping hard, posture, everything. I mean, it's not fun. You're breathing so hard on your walks that sometimes you can't think about nothing but just that. Like like you're not even getting to enjoy thinking on your walk. Right. You're just like one breath in, one breath out. But I just had to keep reminding myself, man, I did this to me. This shouldn't be easy. I deserve this. You know what I mean? Like I should, in fact, I want to remember every moment I'm feeling on here. And I said this early when I started. One day I was out there and I was like, my wife said, how was your run? I was like, I thought I was going to die out there today. You know, and I was walking. And the next day when I felt that again, it was the first time I looked at it different. It was your lactic muscle fiber mentality. Right. I looked at it all of a sudden when it started, when I really thought I was like, when I felt like my heart was going to go out of my throat, I said, speed up. Test that motherfucker. Lean into it. See what it does. Yeah. I bet it's resilient. I bet it's strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet, you know what it is? This isn't my heart fixing to blow. It's it getting strong. Right. I'm actually feeling the growth of my heart right now. Like, I feel it pushing bad shit out. Like, I could feel it. Then I started thinking it that way and feeling it that way. Like, ooh, this is the good stuff. I'm in the money now. You know what I mean? And, just super leaning into that kind of stuff, hitting the hill first. Me and you talked about that. Right. It's like walking straight up that hill. Like
it's just that. What message are you telling yourself?
What's the story you're telling yourself?
The story you're telling yourself. Yeah. I like that. And so you just change that to where instead of being miserable and like, you know, what am I doing this for? Is like you could even though it felt like you couldn't breathe, you turn that into a positive.
Positive.
Like, this is
instead of a reason not to do it
This is
tomorrow.
strength. This is me getting stronger, pushing out. Yeah, it's turning it into a. Yeah, you just spin the narrative basically.
Yeah, just 100%. Like and it's also what we're normally telling ourselves isn't true, because the real narrative it was getting stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
Because me and you talked about this. My cardiovascular system's pretty good.
It's great.
It's great. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't winded. I stayed in zone 3 and zone 4 our whole run. I think I spent of that 5K. I probably spent 9 to 12 minutes in zone 5, which is a little high, but I mean, I was hitting it hard on dirt and hills. It's like, but it was really like, I felt really good. I mean, I hung out all night. We partied. We went and sat in the blind, drew on some deer.
No,
and it's
great.
like, we hung out that night. It's like, it didn't affect me at all.
No.
So
your cardio.
it's time
great.
on feet now. Now it's just trashing the body more, but
and your body, as we talked about, your body responds to what you ask of it. So you're asking this now, it's going to respond.
And to the big people listening, there's that magic moment that happens. Where all of a sudden you never thought it would happen, but you're running with your friends and you're looking and talking about the topography. You know what I mean? And you're having conversations and you're bonding. You know what I mean? Or you're running and you're not just thinking about your next breath. You're thinking about how to be a better husband, how to be a better father, how to be more present in life, how to make better business decisions, how to quit using business as a reason to run from decisions.
Yeah.
Like these are the things, like now my runs, even if I'm alone, I'm getting to get in my spirit and really deal with stuff and like think and get my head clear. And I have the luxury to once or twice a week grab in and be like, yo, I got to do a recovery 2 or 3 miles. You want to bust one out and just chat and we'll laugh the whole time?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I just got to go do it. You know what I mean?
You said you had another positive, or powerful story you told on Joe's podcast too that I think fits in right now is when your son was scared to go down where I think he broke his wrist on the 4-wheeler. And you were saying that there was a time when you were so into your own struggles, there's no way you could father your son or like give him what he needed to overcome his fear, right? But because of, I think that either you went on a run, something like that, but anyway, point is you're in a better place to even be a better dad and 100%. Give your son what he needed. He needed somebody to say, hey, you're going to be okay. And I think he went with you one time and then he did it by himself. Yeah. But even just being a father, that took a different mindset for you.
Totally. I've never shared this story. My brother Scott he was a surveyor, a civil engineer forever, 20-something years in a career, and I've been begging him to quit his job since I started getting successful or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, man, please, I need you here. I'm buying all these properties. I'm in all these different businesses. It'd be really cool to have somebody look over my back. My brother's like, dude, I've been in this job 20 years. I love you. F you. So, so I was finally like, please leave your job. And I finally talked him into leaving his job. And he's helping me with the property management. And he's always been around for me his whole life. He's been just one of the most impactful people. Both my brothers and my sister have just been great to me. And I was on a couch one day a few years ago. We were hanging. It was before he even started working, 4 years ago, I guess. And my son was there. My son was probably 5 at the time. He wanted to go throw a baseball or something. And I remember just having to grab Scott and just kind of be like, hey, man, will you go throw that with him? And that was like one of them. I look back at those moments and the shame I felt.
Yeah.
And it was like, I had an even cooler moment now. That same day on the farm, we had another one here recently. It's just me and Noah. My brother texted me. We were going to the UT game that night, the basketball game. And he goes, hey, man, you want me to come out to the farm with you and Noah and ride with y'all, or you just want me to meet you at the UT game? And I used to always be like, yeah, come out here just because, I was so big, I'd be afraid to be with Noah by myself almost. Yeah. And I was like, no, dude, we're straight. We've been out here for like 2 days alone. Like, we're partying. Like, we're good. Like, we're bonding. Like, we've been wrestling all day. We've been riding 4-wheelers, just me and him. Like, I would have never had the physical capability to spend days and days and days at a time alone with just my son. And then you think, but that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. As a father, I should be more than, if the world burned down right now and it was just me and him, I should be able to take care of him the rest of his life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, and here I am not even capable to throw a football with him or a baseball with him because I'm so fat. Like, what kind of father am I?
Right, I understand.
Am I hiding behind success here? Yeah. Like, it was like, like it just started being more introspective.
Because you're famous, all of a sudden it gives you an out. Like,
a double out.
Yeah, I'm famous. I don't, whatever.
Yeah, it's a double out. It's like, well, it's like, it's just, and then you look and you're like, no, man, that's not the right way to be looking about this. But even then, like I told Joe, I was so dark in my head. I was still in a place where I was like, look, y'all, we all know I'm going to die soon. Like, let's just try to be as cool as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's
Yeah.
just all be nice to each other here and have fun. And y'all help
Right.
your boy out as much as you can while
Yeah.
imagine me like I'm wounded. we all know I'm bedding up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let
Yeah.
me bed up, you know?
Right. Right.
And I think that was the energy I even carried around. You know, I was the Walking Dead kind of,
Yeah.
like, you know.
And so how could you set big goals for yourself if
Yeah.
you think you're on your last leg essentially
sure. You're
because
like-
you're so unhealthy?
Yeah. So when your
Yeah.
mind's like, you're going to wrestle at SummerSlam, the body's like, ha, ha, ha. But when
Yeah.
you tell the mind, when the mind tells the body, hey, man, we're just going to walk to the end of the farm and back.
Yeah.
Hey, man, tomorrow, since we've been doing that a few weeks, we're going to go right out of the farm and bust up that hill. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
like, you've seen it in real life.
Yeah, I
You
did.
were there. So it's like, these were the thoughts. You know, it's you're smiling because
Yeah.
you've seen the route. You know exactly. You've seen it in your head. It's like,
that was such a great day. I do want to go back to one, not back, but I want to interject. I think there's a stat that says something like 80% of our thoughts are negative.
Yeah.
You know, and or 80% of what we worry about never happens. That's what it is. It's so, to your point, we worry about all this stuff. It's like it's this negative energy, and nothing ever comes of it. It's just, but it weighs us down, right? And so where I see that is, we put up a video of us running, and I think we said, you know, I can't remember what it was, but we did 6.4 miles, and I don't even think I had the pace in there, but I think so. I saw comments from people who I think are in this place where they're just weighed down by negativity. So one guy, I ended up blocking him because it's just a waste of my time. But he did say that, there's no way Joey Roll ran 6.4 miles at that pace, at that stride, or something like that. Point is, it's like how he wasn't here. You did do it, but he wants people to look at stuff, and I don't know if it makes them feel bad or if I don't know what they feel or why they feel it or why they need to say, no, he never did that. Even though we know 100%, there's 100% fact you did do it. But it's just an example of people, when they have a chance to be inspired, sometimes they're still letting that negativity screw that up.
Well,
They could have looked at that and been like, holy shit, how amazing is this? What can I do?
what can I do?
And that's what most people are like, maybe I could do more.
Yeah.
Maybe since Joey Roll's doing that, maybe I could set a goal for myself. That's what we want the world to have, their attitude. We want them to feel good. We want them to be positive, be goal setters, but we know some people aren't going to.
Yeah.
So how do we reach those people?
Right. I don't know, because here's my thing is, with guys like that, I thought about this, is that in his mind, if I ran 6.4 miles, okay, then that is a direct assassination on his excuses.
Yeah.
Every excuse he has, that is
Right.
it is a serial killer of all of his excuses. You know what I mean? Me being able to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, because if there's not a reason or a caveat or a nuance to why it happened, you know what I mean? Because I remember, and I'm only conscious of this, I love my mother to death. And I don't want to seem like I'm down talking her here, but when I was younger, she's way better now, just so I'm very clear, but she would down talk successful people. That was her personality.
Right.
There was a reason why people were successful and we wasn't. She even my uncle, I tell the story of my father and my uncle, she did not like my uncle initially. I don't know if she ever ended up liking him, to be honest. She always was all those rich snooties. That's the rich, they think they're better than everybody because they invested. You know, like that was her mentality. Right. And Uncle Buford never thought that. He was an old country boy. Him and my father were best friends to the day my father died. You know what I mean? They were proud of each other.
Right.
You know, but like she could not accept that somebody was successful because they worked for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she was just, that was
I think
her.
a lot of people are like that.
Because it represents, they need an excuse as to why they didn't go for it. Where I think the problem is that more often than not, I think it'd be cooler if people just be like, no, I just like dig where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I love that I was talking to somebody, some high executive, I won't say his name, but a real high executive, and I was like, we're talking about his daughter, and I was like, of course now she knows she's financially taken care of because of the father, but he goes, I go, what, you know, I think she's going to go to school to be some businesswoman, and she wants to be a school teacher. She, like, her heart and soul is always, since she was a kid, she wants to teach elementary school. You know what I mean? And he was fired up about it. You know what I mean? And I thought a man like this would have been upset because his son ended up following in the business, and another one, all these other, but he had one daughter that was just like, it was all passion for her.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like, this is what she loved to do. And like, he's more proud of her quietly. I could tell by the way he talked about her than any of his boys that went on to be CEOs and executives. Right. Because he knows that, and he's sure they live in theirs too, but he knows that she is just, every time he says he talks to her, she's just a pig in shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's just as happy as could be, you know? And it's like, Some people, it's like, you don't have to look around for an excuse not to do it. Just say, dude, I just love where I'm at in my life right now. That's awesome too. You know what I mean? But don't sit on the internet and shoot us down because we're trying to do something, because we're just pushing a different direction. Like, and chew the meat and spit the fat. That's my big thing in life. You know what I mean? Like, this is for everything I say or do. Like, chew the meat, spit the fat. What I know for sure is more people are way inspired by Cameron Haynes and Jelly Roll than people that are at home. More people are putting on their running shoes right now than are looking at them in the corner going, well, I'd do it if, I was a multimillionaire singer. You know what I'm saying? Because there are those people, right?
Right. I saw the comments too, and I think you addressed it too. It's like, oh, all it takes is money.
Yeah, it's like money can't run 6.4 miles now. No. There's nothing you can put in your blood. You can't get a shot that makes you not feel those 6.4 miles.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm here bow hunting. It's like, you can't fake that, dude.
No.
Like, I'm nothing against rifle hunting. I think it's awesome. But you're not sitting 150 feet with a cup of coffee talking to your boy listening to a podcast quietly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're 35, 40 yards away from a live animal that is self-preservation is completely kicked in.
Yeah.
It is extremely hard in every way.
You're trying to kill it. It's trying to stay alive.
For sure.
So.
And it's a totally jux. And it's like, but it's not, hope somebody hears this and puts on their running shoes. It was not being afraid to be like, yeah, dude, I love this. And dude, in that bow I talked about on Joe, it's meditation. I've felt very few things in life that take the world away. A good song will do it. Like, you get lost in a good song, writing one or even listening to one where you forget the world's happening until the song's over and you're like, play it again.
Yeah.
We can get lost one more time probably. We might be able to sneak our mind into getting lost one more time. We played it back to back, But like, you put that, when that sight's there, I don't care if it's a target or a deer.
Yeah.
If the deer is a lot more exhilarating, but even the target, like, I don't care how many times you shoot. I don't know if you feel this way, if it's just second nature to you, but still, even whenever I have that target in there, I'm still baby, but all I think about is just breathe.
Yeah.
Where's your pen? You know what I mean? Are you breathing?
Yeah.
All right, let it go. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I can think about. I'm not thinking about business or life or any of my inadequacies. I'm just like, all that matters is this thing in front of me.
Yeah, just tunnel vision, focus on the task at hand, because you can't be successful archery hunting, shooting a bow hunting if you're distracted by life.
Yeah.
You have to make good decisions. You have to be 100% immersed in the experience, and you have to be reading that animal. It's like, what I love about it is, and I've said this to you, is the world, the cities, everything, that's not real. That's not real. This is real. Out in the wild, trying to kill an animal is trying to stay alive. We want to eat it. That's as real as it gets. Yeah. Everything else, just distractions. We're immersed in something doesn't get any more real than this, and man has been doing this as long as there's been man.
Right.
So it just feels like when you do it, when you are in an experience like this, you're like, this feels right. This feels like what I should have been doing my whole life.
Right.
And it's so powerful, but I just love how open you are to the whole experience, learning the whole thing. But tell me, like, becoming a bow hunter, what has that been like, and how did that start? I mean, where did this thought come from?
Well, our friendship, I remember you came and brought it to a show one time. And it's the first time so I can't rifle hunt, which we talked about.
Yeah.
So, but I always wanted to hunt. My son's getting into hunting. He's going with Miles and his son. Like, lucky for me, Miles, my mentor, his son and him were close, so he took him to kill his first turkey this year.
Nice.
But and then it was the first time that it started. It's all part of my change, and it's all a part of changing my friends. You know what I mean? Of like finding new ways to connect, not being afraid to try new things.
Right.
Like, I think it's so important. Like, I keep saying I'm 41 years old. I picked up a bow for the first time when I was 40, and I just turned 41. It's been 6 months I've owned a bow. You know what I mean? But it's like, I didn't forget how gratifying it was to be bad at something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like, to just absolutely suck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many, everybody jokes when I say I bought a couple hundred arrows. It's like, yeah, well, y'all didn't see the first 10 I wasted when I got home. They're somewhere in the woods right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God, so many, maybe 30. You know what I'm saying? Just completely lost arrows forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying, just get it back right.
Yeah.
Just like, so many nights leaving. It was like trying to learn the drums. Like, you would there's a joke. If I give you a guitar right now, I can at least teach you to play a couple chords in an hour or two, and you can at least like fake it for at least a few minutes for somebody.
Right.
But if I give you a drum set, you're going to leave after 2 hours confused and pissed off and tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that.
Yeah.
There was nights I left with the bow worse than when I started. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, you're just like, how am I getting worse at this?
Yeah.
So it was just, but obviously our friendship, you came to the show, and I remember this is the first time I seen one in person. And you ripped it back. And dude, you shot it 100-something yards down the Moda Center's ramp into their like loading dock where we go back a house for a venue. So I mean, and you shot it between two semi trucks. It was a sexy shot. And then I remember you handed me the bow. You're like, just try to pull it back. And dude, I could not get it.
Yeah.
Remember, I was like, dude, this is insanely strong. And you were like, don't worry, we'll get you. And this is Cam Haynes for you right then. You don't think twice. You just immediately go, don't worry, man. We'll get you one that'll be easier. It'll be more fit for you. And then you don't know it, but right then you sowed a seed. That's what I look for seeds now in life.
Okay.
Like I'm looking for people planting because I'm trying to plant seeds with people.
Right.
You know, I'm walking around with a cup. I want to give people what I got. Now, if you got something to pour back, it's, you know, I'm living life like that these days. If you know what, if I got to give you all my cup and I don't have anything in my cup, that's cool. I just need to go home and refuel.
That's a saying I've seen lately. It's like you look to see or some people look to see if the other person has more than they have, you know, and some people look to see if you need more.
That's it.
You
Exactly.
know, so it's just that perspective. But
sure.
So you said something right there. It was a seed you were looking to sow or whatever. So you planted that seed, and you have to be looking for it.
You have to be looking
because
for it.
there's opportunity out there for everybody. But if you're not looking for it, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So you're actively looking. Hey, is there ways I can get better and grow? And archery was one of those things.
It wasn't just a seed for growth when you said that though, Cam, like for the bow and like for me thinking of self-improvement. It was also the first time that it was another belief thing from you because I started my weight loss journey and right then I was like, Cam's probably seeing me get healthy enough to shoot this thing one day.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good. I'm kind of peacocking a little bit with that. But then it was the first time that I had blurred the lines of what you do for a living in our friendship, which was really kind of cool for me in that moment. I was like, it felt like an olive branch because I would have never came to you because I know it's like, when songwriters pitch songs to musicians, you know what I mean? Like, I know that you live a life where every corner you turn, somebody's going, take me hunting. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like obnoxious. Like when I used to go to the bar in Nashville, all the songwriters, let's write one, which is, you know, I get it, but it's like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. So I never wanted to be that guy. So then when you said it, I'd never even considered it because of that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be Cam's only friend that doesn't bow hunt with him. And that's going to be what's special to me and Cam's friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like I had
part.
that for a while.
Right.
It's like uniquely, I'm going to be the only friend he has that never bow hunts with him. And then you said it, I was like, maybe. But even then, that was the seed. It would be another year before that seed would start sowing because I'd lose another 80, 90 pounds. I'd come back to Eugene. We'd hang out and I'd be like, dude, I'm in shape enough to run Pisgah.
Yeah.
He was like, no way. I was like, well, maybe not run Pisgah, but I think I can get to the top
there.
of it. I was like, I think I can get on top of that monument, you know? And you were like, let's go. And me and you talked about this because this was me making good decisions. I had a day off between Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, I think. And we were staying in Portland, and I just drove down on my off day. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to spend my off day with you. I drove 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
For 5-hour round trip, just come hang and just go.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to finally do Pisgah.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, my days off used to be recovery days from alcohol and cocaine. Now my day off, this was early. You know what I mean? Think about it. So when people see the birthday post, they don't know that we've been this has been a theme, you know, of me trying to do behind the scenes where I'm like, let's go do it. This will be the best thing. And then that day you're like, dude, while you're here, we should go to the bow rack. And I was like, let's go. I'm light enough then. I thought I was ready to hunt then. Thank God I had lost a little more weight. But and then Wayne hooked me up with that bow, and I remember shooting that day. And it's kind of like the bug, you know, like when you do some things in life and you know they kind of nick at you a little differently, or you take to them naturally, like you know, shooting a basketball. I'm not a great basketball player, but I just kind of naturally in my childhood took to at least shooting a shot. So it's like I felt that for the first time.
Yeah, you shot. I mean, even that first day, you shot great.
I shot great. I took kind of naturally to music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was. I felt that, and I felt that day in my heart. I was like, "We're doing this," and I remember looking at you like, "I'm in."
Yeah.
Like if you'll have me, I'll go. You know what I mean? And right then you were like, "We'll go on a deer hunt," and you said it right then. You were like, "I'll get you to a place like you're new to this, so I got a spot for you." He's like, "You're definitely not ready to go where I go, but I got a spot we can go." Right. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Dope." And right then, I was like, I want to honor this. And I started looking at it like back to the man stuff of like not being able to just spend a day with my son, being physically entrenched in that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Of like, now it's like basic stuff. I should be able to hunt with a bow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is just core man stuff. Like I should be able to sleep in a tent on the ground. I should be able to go for a hike and do a 2 or 3 day trip with just a tent. Like these are like things that if the world went south on me, I wasn't ready to take care of my family for real.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hide behind a mountain of money for that.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like if the world really went south right now, I was going to have to come find you and Joe and hide with y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be like, feed me, please. Here's my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'd like to be able to be like, meet y'all somewhere.
I think there's a lot of people, a lot of men who feel like that, but they'd never say it.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, you're just so honest, you know, and I remember I was at the fights one time and Gerard Butler was there and he was just like, I was standing right behind Joe and he's like, and those celebrities are like, they're in the VIP up in the front. And then I was up there. It's like, so he's like, we're just kind of BSing. Watched 300 so many times. So Gerard Butler is like the man, right? And he's like, why are you up here?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'm buddies with Joe. He's like, so what do you do? I said, I kill animals with an arrow. He goes, what? I said, I bow hunt. He goes, well, what do you bow hunt? I said, everything. And so then we had this conversation and then he goes like, well, why? And I said, the way I look at it is if you're a man and you don't bow hunt, you're kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
he's like, he goes, that makes sense. And I said, have you hunted? He's like, no, but I thought about it. He goes, I like the idea of it. I said, well, so this is going to tie in again, but I said, yeah, I'd take you hunting if you want to. So I say that because I want to share what I do with everyone, with the world. I love it. I love sharing what has changed my life with other people. And so I tell people, like, I'll take you hunting all the time, all sorts of people. And everybody says, just like him, you know how many people actually do it? Not very many. Mm-hmm. So I said it to you. Yes, I'll take you hunting. Yes, we can do it. But whether anybody actually takes me up on it, it's hardly anybody.
Right.
I'm fighting every year because I buy these 2 deer hunts because I took Cheeto Vera and I took Alexi Pappas, and they had never hunted before, but I love doing it. And I pay for those hunts, and it's sort of expensive for a deer hunt, but I'm like, I can hardly get anybody there. This is free. I'm paying for it. I'm going to share the type of hunting that I grew up doing in Western Oregon. And you said you've always wanted to hunt because there's so many people, men mostly, who said, oh, I've always wanted to hunt. And I'm like, perfect. Here's a chance. Here's the dates.
Yeah.
Don't show up. So the fact that, you know, yes, I did mention it, but then it was you.
Yeah, for sure.
It had to be you. I can't make people do this stuff. I can't make people care about it. I can't make people, you know, you say, you know, you have to be, you have to be available to take this in and to change from it, right? And you are. So people say all these things, but you are one of the few who actually follow up and now you've grown and now people are seeing this and now everybody's like, I want to do that too. And I'm like, you say you want to do it, but do you?
Yeah.
And you said, and you are,
yes,
you know, and there's a huge difference between people like that.
If you dig it, do it. It's like go try. That's what I encourage people to do, because either find out it's not your thing or find out it lights a soul on fire. Mm-hmm. But more than anything, Cam, it's like, I just wanted to be a better core man. Mm-hmm. Like I want to, like hunting, like, running, being able to walk long periods, hiking, being able to hold my body weight. Yeah. These are things that when you're in prison to a fat suit, you don't even think about. Like in extreme emergency, I couldn't pull myself out of a hole. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I can now almost. Yeah. I'm still not at a full pull-up, but I want to be able to do 10 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. I got these like super weird things that I think are just like we should basically be able. I'll give you what I'm doing right now that's funny. Okay. We'll talk more about hunting too, but this is funny. I realize that I don't know anything about any basic handyman stuff. Okay. that like I am that dude in my household. It's
Yeah.
like has to call my brother. We have to call somebody. Like
Yep.
the toilet paper rolls had fell off. And I couldn't figure out how to get them in. And I could have, I just didn't tinker with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right then I was like, who am I to my wife? You know what I mean? That like, I can't hang a TV. I mean, I can hang a TV, but like, you know, like I can find a stud, but that's about as
Right.
far as my skill set goes.
Right.
So now it's like once a week I pick a project, get on YouTube, and I try to build something or put something together while I'm home.
that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
I should be able, in the next year or two, I told my wife by the age of 45, I'd like to be able to fix any basic problem in our house. You know what I mean? Like at any given moment, like
Yeah.
any kind of just small drainage stuff. Like I'd love to be able to, if I had to pull a pipe out, put a pipe in, I'd love to just be able to basic figure it out, not just be like a complete,
Yeah. Call somebody. Got to call.
yeah, let me call
the plumber.
Yeah, you know, like I'd rather just be
Yeah.
like, dude, it's a. Let me just see what it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, let me pull the drain out and see.
Yeah.
You know? I want to be able to change oil in a car.
Yeah.
You know, so like you offering a bow hunting experience was on my list. It was like, yo, I want to hunt and I can't hunt with a gun. And it's also kind of my way of like, I used to use that as a reason of like my anger at the government.
Right.
It's like people like, you hunt, and I'd be like, no, I can't hunt because the government took my rights. It's back to being a victim.
So
and I did something wrong. I was a criminal.
It'd give you a little opportunity to get on a soapbox about something and bitch.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah, me. I
Yeah.
could have did, you know, I committed a crime. Now they won't let me shoot a gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy when you think about how you sound in hindsight to be like, you know what? I could have hunted the whole time. Nothing in the law prohibits me. I got Rihanna got my hunting license super easy when I got home. She handed me this thing. I filled it out. Got a tag.
Yeah, right.
It was that easy. You know what I mean? I just got to shoot it with a bow, which is luck. That's all I brought to shoot it with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
So you
know,
could have been saying, yeah, I can't rifle hunt, but I can bow hunt. You could have been like
could have been
excited
like- yeah, I
about
could
it
have been like,
instead
yeah.
of been like, yeah, they're me.
Yeah.
Say I can't own a firearm. Or
I
be
should have
within. Can you believe I can't be within 1,000 feet
Yeah.
of a firearm? Is that bullshit?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, you could have been like that, but you're like, oh, I can bow hunt though.
Yep. Even like when we talked about it on Joe, I was like, yeah, man, can't hear a gun. But we talked about it for like 2 seconds, move right on. I was like, yeah, but I bow hunt. That's where I'm at now. You know, I hope I get the gun right back one day. But if
Yeah.
not, cool, I got a bow.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I'll bow hunt. And I'm a bow hunter now. Like I'm going to bow
are.
hunt. Like
You are.
I love it, man. The lessons I've already learned in that blind will exceed way beyond blind lessons. Like I'll
Yeah.
remember them every time I get in a blind now. You know, but like the life lessons that come out there. And
So
this was therapy.
tell me about like just because now we've been here a few days, we've been in the blind for hours being like dead silent, not moving. What's that been like? You know, as far as because your normal life is, you know, putting on shows, crowds, thousands of people. You know, you're this larger than life figure. You're Jelly Roll, right? Everybody knows you. Everybody face tats, and now you're in a bow hunting blind.
Right.
What's that? Tell
It
me
is.
about the difference and what that's been like.
Nothing is more of a it couldn't be two opposite worlds. Complete chaos, pandemonium, traveling 300 days a year, 2 to 3 flights a day. I'm going to log like 300 flights this year or something, 400 flights this year. It's going to be crazy. Like an ridiculous amount of number of flights. And then to being sitting in the still of silence. I seen the sunrise for the first time not on cocaine in 20 years. You know what I mean? Like the last time I seen a sunrise, I was blowed out of my mind.
It's because you were up
I was
all
still
night.
Yeah, I look like an owl. My pupils look like dimes. You know what I mean? They were just all you could see was black. I look like a deer. I had deer eyes. Just, you know what I mean? It was just the last time I seen. I'll always remember hearing the morning wake up. Like I never experienced that deep in the Texas desert. You know what I mean? Like of just when I go home, I'm gonna beat the sun and go do a sit, even though I can't shoot nothing. I'm gonna first of all, I'm definitely gonna put me a little bow blind down by the creek. Just I know a little spot they go drink at, just in case.
There you go.
But I got the trail cams tracking them. But I'm gonna go sit in one of the rifle stands and just experience. I've never experienced that at home. That like, I never even realized that, Cam, until you was like, nothing's awake. Because remember we heard that first deer crunching.
Yeah. Well, so how it works, like, you're in the blind early, well before sunlight or sunrise. And generally it gets a little colder right before the sun comes up. So I don't know how it works, but it's kind of cool already. You're sitting there, you're not moving. So, you know, when the chill can kind of seep in your clothes a little bit. but we got hoodies, we got things on, we're good to go. But you can feel it get a little colder, and it's just dead quiet.
I mean, the most quietness I have ever heard in my life.
You
can hear everything.
There's a doe out there. There's corn out there they're chewing on, and we could hear it like it was like we were chewing it in our own head, basically, like we were eating cereal.
I thought
Captain
he was.
Crunch.
I thought he was in the like Captain Crunch. I thought he was in the blind.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even see him. It was so dark.
Yeah, so dark.
All we could hear. I couldn't see you. You couldn't see me,
Yeah.
dude. Eerie, dude. That was my first ever morning blind experience. So
Right.
I mean, just like never. And it wasn't until the next morning that you showed me what was happening.
Yeah. So tell me about the woods waking up.
Dude. So I was like, the next morning I'm finally like, why is it so quiet? Cam put his finger up. He's like, I'll tell you. And then all of a sudden I heard one bird. He said, right before that sun breaks. I won't whisper. He said, right before that sun breaks. He was whispering though, Cam, like a crazy whisper. I've never whispered this much in my life neither. He goes, most whispering I've ever done has been this week. And he goes, the first thing you'll hear is a bird. He was like, it'll be one. You'll hear one bird. And literally right before the day break, you heard and it sounded like a gunshot. It was so loud.
Yeah.
And then I could hear rustling, like insects or just like the small rustles, and more birds, and more birds, and more birds, and more birds, and then more rustling, and then a little wind. Almost like the wind didn't even come until after the sun broke the horizon. It's like, and slowly you just start watching the world wake up.
Yeah.
And I thought about how many times of my life as an adult man I spent only thinking about the human side of the world waking up. You know what I mean? Like I just ride around in car after car, plane after plane, just high-fiving people along the way and never even thinking about what's actually happening in the world. Like I watch not the world we call the world. That's not the real world. We don't make up the real world. The real world is the 80% of the earth we're not touching.
Right.
Yeah, that's the where we're scared to go. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's what it was before us. We were having to walk through there with our peckers hanging out and bow and arrows, and you know what I'm saying? It was a totally different time. You know, never experienced nothing like it. Beautiful, the birds, the beauty, the Mother Nature. We got a badger our first day. You remember a little badger that walked in between?
Yeah,
like I've seen a bobcat. I've never seen a bobcat. I've experienced tracks.
Yeah.
You taught me the difference between a cat track and a
coyote track.
A coyote track.
Yeah.
Yeah. More round.
Yeah.
For a cat.
Yeah, triangle and there's like there's so much to learn out there. But what I like, something about, nature waking up, we're kind of tricked. You talk about the we're in the 80% of the world that's not inhabited is what we're talking about waking up. But the other part, like you go to Vegas, they have every light on. You don't know what time of day it is, right? You don't know that nature's waking up, sun's going down, sun's coming up, because they want you to think it's day all the time. Well, we're at home, lights are on, everything's on, we're staying up all night. But when you're actually immersed out here into this, and then you're part of nature, and you're appreciating it, it just feels like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to live. What have I been? I didn't know this. It just feels like, I don't know. It's so healing is what I always think about. I always say the mountains heal, but nature specifically heals. And it feels so healing just to be there and just observe it.
Right.
And just be part of it.
I had as much fun on the days I didn't get a shot. Well, not as much. That's a lie. When you get a shot, it's way more fucking fun. I'm not going to lie. That's the truth. But I enjoyed the days that we didn't get a shot. Like genuinely, like they were still special to me because all the learning from it, experiencing the nature, waking up, seeing these things for the first time, like being that close to animals, wild. You know what I mean? Like just seeing these kind of things, like knowing that coyote was sitting next to our blind the other morning, morning, like just that eeriness of like, there's a full blown coyote 3 feet outside of this blind. You know what I mean? Like just, those are the things that I've never experienced, man. And I think that and I know it sounds hokey, but any human, especially men who haven't at least went and experienced that once in their life, you don't know it wakes up something in you genetically. Like there's a DNA thing that happened when I put that first deer in that site.
Yeah.
that I never expected to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of like
Yeah.
a natural reaction. Of like, I actually kind of spent inside baseball. We've never talked about this. It'll be a break on the podcast. I spent most of my life thinking when it finally came time, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd be like, well, wow, you know what I mean? But like
To kill something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polar opposite. It was like I understood the full cycle of life in that
Yeah.
moment. You know what I mean? Like I understood who we were in that moment, who they were in that moment. I understood that it's been a tale as old as time, all the way back in the Bible. You know what I mean? And that this meat is going to feed a lot of people back home, and that, you know what I mean? Like, and that, you know, this deer's on his way out either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just such a different. It's hard to explain, but it's a DNA thing, and I just think, and maybe not every man will feel it. But I think every man should give themselves a chance to experience it.
Right.
And at least find out if it awakes something in them genetically they didn't know was in them.
Yeah,
Because I know now,
I agree.
I'm going to start planning my touring schedule around hunting season.
Yeah.
I wondered why Morgan and all my buddies, Riley Green and all them dudes literally tour around hunting season. You know what I mean? It's like,
why.
I get it now. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, I totally understand.
So all you've experienced so far has been so positive, but I guess building on that, when you do kill your buck, and then to me, what I always try to explain to new hunters, and I did this with Alexi specifically, but you walk up to that animal and it's dead, and I said, we need to think about this. We need to think about what this means. We killed this. That's a big deal. People kill things all the time with money every day to survive. But and I told her, I said, you killed this deer. You're alive. It's dead. We're going to eat it. There's a lot there. There's a lot there to consider. This animal sacrificed its life for us to survive. So it's there's very deep meaning in being a hunter, killing an animal. Like I said, animals are trying to survive. We're trying to kill them. This sounds very simple, very complicated. And there's a lot of emotion in that. And so I'm very excited for that, because I know it's going to resonate with you. You're a deep feeling human.
Right.
And that's why you're here. That's a big part of why you took on this challenge. It's a big part of why it means so much, because that's who you said it's in your DNA, but like the type of person you are, just that feeling, emotional person, that's hunting is even more powerful to somebody like you. So that's why I'm so much looking forward to. I feel like, I'm trying to make this hunting experience positive and not have pressure on it. But man, I want you to succeed so bad,
dude. Me too. What do you mean? Golly,
so bad.
Circling the wagon has been quite a journey, to say the exact least.
I just can't wait for that moment when the hard work pays off and there's success, and then we're there.
Yeah,
and it's going to happen. But tell me about has bow hunting. Is it harder than you thought it'd be, or is it about what you thought it'd be?
I thought it was going to be really hard. I didn't think it was going to be really, really, really hard. So I was off. But I really came in here like knowing this was going to be a different kind of a thing. Like it was going to be, when you said this to me earlier, it was crazy that you said 80% of bow hunters fail every season. Like, wow. And I totally get it. And I think that's a personality thing too, of those that come back and don't kill it this year. The 80% that go home and tell their wife, next year, honey, and they're out on their back porch all year with their bow.
Yep.
Those are the men that are different.
Yeah.
And I'll be back next year regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that's who I know I am.
Oh, I have no doubt now.
Just like I was the first, like I tell people, if you seen my first 5K, nothing would make you think I was going to sign up for a half marathon. You know what I mean? So it's like, I never judge where I'm at on the start no more. It's like you said, I'm on the right path finally.
Yeah.
Cam poured into me yesterday, y'all. He said, look, man, I was talking about bow hunting. I was like, I just feel so far behind. He was like, but you're on the right path. He's like, you're finally on the path to being a bow hunter. Now you just got to go. Like, yeah, there's people that are way better because they've been on the path a lot longer.
Right. And
there are people that might pass you because they're running the path faster. He's like, but you're finally on the right. Just stay on the path. Yep. And that was so deep. You know what I mean? It was like the same thing for me was in health. Like once I finally got on the right path and I felt the momentum of that direction coming, even though it took a year to get the momentum, you were like, oh, you're right. This is the right path. It's like, I know what the law of attraction is, and the law of human work says that as long as I'm willing to put in the hours genuinely and fully, honestly and wholly, that it'll pay off.
Right.
You know what I mean? That as long as I'm not cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as when I go home, I'm actually shooting my bow.
Yeah.
As long as I'm actually, you know what I mean? For sure. It's like, that's how it works. I can only get better. You can't get worse.
No.
I don't care what you're doing in life. If you follow those steps, you're being genuinely honest to yourself about the amount of work you're really putting in. You are actually putting in that amount of work. This goes for anything you're trying to do in life. And you are being held accountable to when you're not doing it to the best level you can, and you're getting back on track as fast as possible with a little time off. There's no way you do not gain progress in any direction in life. You wake up tomorrow and decide to start going. You just take one foot in front of that direction and be whole honest with yourself, accountable about what direction you're going. Brutal truth. And man, as long as you're holding yourself accountable and you're putting the true hours in, you can't. My daddy did teach me that. He's like, I almost quit doing music before it, probably 4 years before it really, really, really exploded for me. And I sat him down and I was like, I might just have to go get a job. I was like, Roger's my oldest brother, still in the meat business. He's actually running his own company now. He's killing it. Love you, Roger. But I was like, maybe I'll just call Roger and see if he'll give me a job. You know, and my dad was like, dude, are you really working as hard as you tell me you are? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. He was like, are you really doing 200 dates a year in a van? I was like, I really am, Dad. He was like, there's no way it's not going to work. If you're really putting in that amount of hours, like truly, not halfly, not fakely, like really putting in those hours and learning from them and being accountable when you're doing it wrong, and correcting those mistakes along the way, he's like, it's going to work. I wouldn't quit if I was you. He's like, I feel like if you were going to college to be a doctor, you've got 8 years. You're getting close to getting that doctorate degree, son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good advice.
And it was real. It was like, and that was a moment of like, he's right. Because I knew, and I had to do self-reflection and go, am I talking about being a musician or am I trying to be one? And I realized I wasn't talking about being one. I was living it. I was going and doing shows. I was getting in front of people all the time, consistently getting in front of people. So I knew that it was going to work. It had to.
Just like shooting a bow, you're getting your reps in.
Get your reps in, dude. I just need more time in front of animals.
Yeah. It's, I think that's a good lesson for people too, because we know there's a lot of people out there who are posting like they're working out, like they're doing all the stuff right, and they're not changing. Yeah. Right. And so as your dad mentioned, it's like, are you really doing what you're saying? Because a lot of people do just enough to make a post.
That's it. Just enough to make a post.
And then,
God, so real.
And then for you to say, like, if you're being honest about your effort and you're truly putting in effort, you are going to see those results. Yeah. So the people are saying that, oh, I've been doing this and I didn't get the results Jelly Roll had. He must have taken whatever. Right. It's like, or maybe you're not doing quite what you say you're doing.
Actually say you're doing.
But Jelly Roll is. That's the difference.
That's the difference, dude. Is that, are you actually going to do?
Yeah.
Is that back to the guy with the stride comment, right? First of all, just for the record, not that this matters, but every time we posted a run together now, we post the end of the run. Yeah. We'll talk about this because I can't say with who, but the first 30 minutes of that run, I did a phone interview. Yeah. That's why we didn't film it. I literally y'all were coming back to check on me. Me and Rihanna was behind y'all because obviously y'all are running a dogger pace than us. You feel me? And you'd come back and check and just see if I was still on the phone. You're like, all right, I'll run with you when you're done off the phone. Yeah. Run back up and catch up with the boys and come back. And finally, when I got off the phone. So like, the first 30 minutes of that hour and 12-minute run, I was literally doing a phone interview that's going to be in a famous magazine shortly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, But so the stride you always see with us is at the very ass end. When we hit that hill on our post that went viral on your page from that run on my birthday, that was the last time we hit that hill that day. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was the third time we hit that hill.
And you ran the whole thing.
I ran the whole thing. Of course my stride was, of course I was running my slowest and lowest. It was over. Yeah. At that point, I was just trying to get home. You know what I'm saying? So instead of looking and being one of the people out there who are trying to pick it apart, just be like, hey, maybe this is the end of the run. Maybe like what you just said, and maybe it is legit. Yeah, there's a chance that what we put out there is legit if you're willing to look at it that way. It's like when I talk. Can I share the Truett story? Yeah. You think he's comfortable with that? Yeah. I talked to Truett the other day on your phone, and I was like, we were talking about his most recent marathon. I think he hit the goal, but he already missed it by a second, right? He kind of danced. He got under 230, so he got 229. Yeah. He just, that was always the goal, is sub 230. In his head, he wanted to get a little faster, a few minutes faster. Like his PR time, right? Yeah, close to it.
Didn't happen that race.
But the thing is like I told him, I was like, that's because you set realistic goals for you, not the internet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and never do that, dog. Like, it would have been easy for me to sandbag doing that 10K with you the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even when we got to 5 miles, that was our goal, was to do my first 5 miler.
See, that was all you. No, nobody said we're going to do 10K today. You said it.
I said it.
And I, in my head, given these conditions, kind of the sandy, tough running road, rolling hills, 5 miles would be a lot. And it's warm.
Yeah.
And
Cooking.
so that would have been still a win, 5 miles. But we got to 5, and you said, "I want to do a 10K."
It's like, dude, we got to do it. This is our first chance. I was like, dude, I don't want to be that be our story. I thought about you and Max. I was like, do I want the story to be I did my first 5 miles with Cam, or I knocked out a 10K?
10K.
I was like, we got to go do this. But it's like I told True, it's like, it would have been easy for me to come over here and just sandbag it from go and be like, yeah, man, we just knock out a 5K in under 37 minutes. It'll be cool for me. You know, like it'd be my PR.
You still get a lot of attention.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd still get a lot of positive feedback.
For sure.
You still would have got it. But you would have known I had more in me.
I had a lot more in me. I knew that at 5 miles. That's why I looked at you like, Cam, I know I got another mile in me.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if I got 1.3 or 4, but I got another mile in me for sure.
You did.
You know, it's like, I know that's those moments of like, and that's why I am a Truett fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Is because I see past the like, I see a young kid that's brave enough to swing a really big bat in front of people.
Yeah.
Like in a crazy way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I know some people think he's probably like cocky, but like you're supposed to be when you're 25 and broke the pull-up record, push-up record or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to have a little bit of like you in you. You know what I mean? Like you don't run hundreds of miles and run paces at marathons like that with not having just a little bit of a dog.
You got to believe in yourself.
You got a little bit of everybody. I'm going to figure this out in you. You know what I'm saying? There's something about you that has to get
That's
here.
a competitor.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to want to win.
You got to want to go for it. So it's like, and I told him the story, and I'll tell this publicly, is that whenever me and my booking agent first talked about going out in the amps, it was a real conversation. It was like, should we only book the smaller ones? You know, the 8,000 or 4,000 ones that we know we can sell the tickets to,
Mm-hmm.
or do we risk going to the bigger places
And not selling out.
and not selling out potentially, or having seats,
empty seats. Yeah.
And then you look around, you have to worry if your fans look back and go, "Are we the only people that like this guy?" You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, they were having these talks, and I was just like, "Man, I don't think God brought us this far not to swing, y'all."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather go out there and embarrass myself and not sell as many tickets and know that I just put it all on the line. And strategy says, the record business says, play the small room, blow it out, and make it look bigger than it is.
Yeah, say sold out.
Yep, optical illusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't care. I want to, but I'm not here for the look.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love Truett. He don't care if he gets hated on because it's his personal goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, pick on me because I didn't hit it, but this was for me.
Yeah.
And if you haven't learned anything
and
else.
we're not over yet.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
What do you, and that's what I was going to say. If you haven't learned anything else, I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's that, like, I don't care about the look of selling something out. I care about people actually caring about the music. And I want as many of them in front of the stage for an affordable price as possible.
Right.
And the smaller the room, the more money you charge for a ticket because the higher the ticket's in demand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather go out there and just have cheap tickets and be able to give $20, $25 lawn tickets still, like whenever I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, at least as true to it as we can stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, we blew them all out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how it works. But we took the big swing. So, like, when I look at Truett, I'm like, that's a kid that's not sandbagging himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kid that, like, is really putting, you could tell, he could have went to the internet and be like, hey, man, if I just do this under 235, it's my first Olympic trial course. Y'all just stick with me. I'm really trying hard.
Yeah.
He could have took a whole different approach.
Could have.
But instead, he's like, no, dude, I know who I am as a human, and I got this number in me, and I'm going to put it up one day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to put it up every time I lace up my shoes.
Yeah.
Until I put it up. And then y'all are going to hate me because I'm going to come up with a new number, a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, Truett, I love you, brother. You know that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing, and we talked about, you know, are you really doing what you say? Because I've asked him too. Like, he trains a lot. He's obsessed. But anybody who's great at anything is obsessed in some way. Otherwise, you're just not going to be great. But I'll ask him, I'm like, are you running, like, at the end? Are you just pushing yourself? Are you just actually sprinting? Because that's when you get the gains. But when you're putting in 100-mile weeks, 14 miles a day, there's days where you're just like, I'm not sending it today. But I asked him, I said, how are you finishing your runs? Are you sending it? Or are you just like a good pace? And he sprints. he's sprinting through his neighborhood every run. And it's like, that's just inner drive. So people see like, and they maybe think it's like, oh, this is internet thing. He's an influencer. He's jacked. He runs in jeans. It's like a little gimmick, but don't get confused. This kid grinds.
He runs.
He grinds.
It's like, and you can't, I love that he runs in jeans. I said that joke on the Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
I love it because that's where I love the music business. Like, dude, like let people that are supposed to stand out. Show your personality. I love when people are colorful people. I love when people aren't. I love quiet people like Mr. Tim here at the ranch, the most quiet dude here.
Yeah.
I love him just as much as everybody
too.
else.
Yeah.
You know, I love them all. It's like I love the personality of that. Like, dude, like that's the shit. But it's it goes back to, don't matter in what manner he's doing it, he's doing the work.
Yeah.
Like you can't deny the work is there.
Yeah, that's not up for debate.
That's not.
You can talk all the shit you want, but just know he's fucking grinding. He's putting in more work than almost maybe Goggins is putting in a little more, but that's about it.
I'll tell you, I'll give you this. The food addiction stuff is the opposite. So I have guys that I'm counseling with that are bigger guys, and a few of them have really big social media platforms, and they get a lot of attention on those social media platforms for their weight loss. But they're not seeing the results they want. They're not seeing the results they think they should. But what's happening is between me and you is they're doing the work because of the claps that come with the work. But then they're going home and they haven't conquered the food addiction part. So they're treading water. They'll lose a couple pounds here and there, 30, 40, 50. I mean, you know, you keep working out, they'll lose big weight. But it's that whenever we get on the phone, it's just us. They're going, man, I'm trying to understand why I'm not seeing a consistency in the weight loss. And I'm like, Bubba, we got to do some work on the food addiction. Because, like, it's so easy to show the work, but it's the stuff that's not being filmed. So
it's not sexy.
Exactly.
It's like the portions.
Yeah, all you see is the moment Truett's talking shit in the camera.
Yeah.
You don't see him suffering the other 24 miles.
Right.
Of course my stride looked like shit on mile 6.2 the first time I ever did it.
Yeah.
You should have seen me at mile 1. I looked like a stud. I had my shoulders back, you know what I mean? Head forward. Like, what a postured running man.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like there was actually real suffering there. It's like with that is you got to go home. It's what's done in the dark that does the most work.
Yeah.
We only show you the snippet of the work to inspire and encourage and show people do the work. Like, let's all do the work together and create a culture of cheering people on doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's where it gets good. I'm looking at me and Rogan's pod this morning, and all I see is comments of people sharing their stories. Hey, man, I'm sober, went through this, lost my mother, battled this, 500 pounds, 300 pounds, 200 pounds, like all these really cool stories of like community of people uplifting each other. We post to hope we create that kind of a community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
goal.
that's the goal. But where we got to where we are for the shit that didn't make the post. Those 60-second reels or those 7-minute YouTube videos that Truett puts out, or like my weekly vlogs where I'm on the treadmill trying to encourage people.
Yeah.
Where I really won the battle was every time I sat down at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Every single time. You see me here.
Yeah.
You watch it. You
Very
see the discipline in a real way.
Very
You know what I mean?
disciplined.
It's like everybody else is eating casseroles and having, I mean, it's hard not to want to partake. I mean, Miss Robin is putting her foot in.
Yeah. She's so good.
But it's like, that's just not,
Yeah.
this is what I have to do to get where I'm trying to go.
It's you know, I've heard this analogy before too, but there's people who say, and I think sometimes saying I'm going to lose weight is like this too, but there's people who say I'm going to write a book. They get a lot of attention because they're going to write a book. Oh, you're going to write a book? That's great. What's it going to be about? Oh, here's the thing. So they get that dopamine hit from announcing they're writing a book. It tricks them. So they got the dopamine hit. They got what they wanted already. They got the attention for it. Then they never write the book.
Never read the book.
Because they got it from just saying they're going to. So some people I think fall into this thing like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They get some feedback for it. That's as far as it goes. It's over.
That's it.
And I had this slogan. I gave away a truck with this slogan. But what you do in the dark matters.
Yes.
And it goes to what you just explained. But it's, in the light, everybody sees it as fine. And I had another hat that would just say, work all day, train all night. Because I had a job for 100 years. I would have to work all day, and it'd just be like, well, I'm not sleeping, I'm training all night. So people who that resonated with, which I got a lot of positive attention for, like I was like the 9-to-5 guy. You know, I would do all these crazy bow hunts, have the success, but I'd still be at work Monday through Friday. And I would just say, okay, for guys like me, we work all day, we train all night. And that was, but the point is, it's like, it's not just that the cool, sexy stuff in the light that's getting a lot of attention. It's like when nobody's watching. What are you doing?
Hours. Yeah,
what are you doing when nobody's watching?
It's the hours that nobody sees that really, really make the difference. Are you putting in those? And that's why it goes back to what we talked about earlier, is that are you really putting those hours in? And that's another accountability. You said it best. Like, are you really putting in the work you say you're putting in, or you think you're putting in?
Right.
Did you really are you checking your heart rate to make sure you got it up to a zone 3 or 4? Like, you actually pushed yourself to that point?
Yeah.
Did you see if you could ride that 5 for a second and just see where your body went with it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm consciously doing that on my runs now. Like I'm really putting in the true hours of it, but also, and most importantly, for my fellow fatties, man, that pantry. Like, you just got to be really honest with yourself about, because calories are everywhere, brother. You know what I mean? Like, they are all the time sitting around in your face, digestible and quick.
Yeah.
You know, that 2 pieces of bread you popped in the toaster because you were hungry with a little butter on it is 290, 320, 450 calories. Depending on how much
You
butter
walk by,
put on.
grab 2 Oreos, they're sit on the counter right
100
there.
calories a piece. 50
Add
calories
up.
a piece.
It all
You know
adds
what I mean?
up.
So it's like, these are just those little things that are, so you're not like, I love when they get broad strokes. You're like, no, I ate on my diet. I mean, I had like a little cookie or something. How big was the little cookie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about it. Let's be real
Right.
with each other. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or like, I might have added a little, like, I was guilty of this for a while. I would look at this whenever I was trying to do my own weight loss before I hired a nutritionist and learn about calories. I'd be like, okay, this is a calorie thing. All right, there's 250 pieces of calorie in these 2 pieces of ham, 120 on the 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah.
It's a 320 calorie sandwich. Now I'll put 3 teaspoons of mayonnaise on it, mustard, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that I put 600 calories of mayonnaise on the 300 calorie sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or when you order the chicken salad and then put 600 calories of ranch dressing on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, chicken,
Yeah.
I'm healthy.
yeah, or I mean grilled chicken, but I put 12 tablespoons of olive oil on it.
Yeah.
It's 120 calories a tablespoon, and I'm frying my chicken in olive
Right.
oil. You know, it's like,
So look at the whole picture.
you got to look at the whole picture, man.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to nourishment. If you have what I have, like, and I'm getting better because I work enough now that I can eat a little. I don't eat worse, but I do have to eat more because I'm running more. So
Your
the body
fuel.
starts
you need
like
fuel now.
Yeah.
Now it's fuel for what you're doing.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I still got about 30 or 40 more reserves that I need to give away, and I'm getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'll finally be in actually like, oh, I'm going to run this much today. I have to eat this much. You know, like, but right now it's just still constant, like cut. But that's the reality of it, Cam, is that I win the battle at the table.
Yeah.
And I'm glad y'all get to see that.
Yeah.
And
No, for sure. I've noticed that.
yeah, it's the biggest. It's truly, all this other shit only happens because that.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be here bow hunting. I couldn't be here running with
Running,
you. I
no.
couldn't be, you know what I mean? All of that exists because every time I put food in my mouth, I look at it, I'm conscious of what it's doing for my body, why I'm taking it. And it's that.
Yeah.
Does it help my action? What is this doing for me right now?
Right.
A whole new approach to food.
I can't remember how the story goes, but there's two things I want to ask. One, where you're at now compared to where you were. Even just a couple years ago, to me, you seem like a completely different person. I know you're the same person, same soul, same heart, same everything else, but how you carry yourself, what you're able to do now is completely different. So that change in such a short period of time should be a huge inspiration to people. But also, then you told me a story about your Music Man tattoo on, and something your wife said to you about, I'm married to Music Man.
Yeah.
Can you tell me that? I can't remember if is that personal or
No, I'd
is
love
that,
to tell this story. I was identity is a big thing. And I used to identify, and I still do because of my addiction, but in a healthier way. But like, piece of shit, like convict, like these were terms I used about myself all the time.
self-talk was negative.
All the time.
Yeah.
So even my Instagram bio, when I married my wife, all the way up to like 1 million followers, said white trash, piece of shit, reformed drug dealer, active alcoholic, scumbag, father, daughter. Father, husband, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just all these like, I don't know if I thought I was being sleek or I was just such a lousy human. I just felt like if I owned it on the front end and people found out I was a lousy human, it'd be easy.
Yeah. It's like Eminem saying all his, I do live in a trailer park. I do live with my mom.
It's like, for sure. It's the
So what are you going to do now?
thing.
I already said this about myself, so
Like,
you guys.
I'm all this stuff, you know? And then I looked at my wife one day and we were talking and she was like, and I was like, I just don't even know who I am. You know, I don't even know, you know, I don't even know, like, and she goes, well, I know one thing's for sure. And this moment just like tore me up. She goes, I married a music man. And I was just like, man, that just like Elton John's famous lyric, married a music man. Mm-hmm. So I tattooed music man above my head. And
just as a reminder that I am the music man.
I'm a music man, dude.
Yeah.
It's like because even then I was looking at, we were talking about tattoos, and all of my tattoos, the memories of them are from my past. So I'm not really proud of any of my tattoos. They only remind me of painful decisions or me trying to be somebody I wasn't. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not any indicative of who I am. So I was like, this was the first time that I was like, this is who I am.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every time I look in the mirror,
deal.
like this is my identity. Like I am a music man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I do. This is who I am. Like, and it was also cool because I spent my whole life wanting to fit in, but never fitting in.
Right.
You know, like I don't know if you relate to that feeling in any way, but like always wanting, like looking at all these different crews and clubs or different things, and like I would try to be a part, and just always things that just wasn't, you know, like I just never found my identity in anything. Yeah. And it feels just real, it's kind of lonely existence to be around so many people and accepted in so many areas, but still not really know who you are.
Right.
You know, just know you're always in somebody else's thing, never your own.
Yeah, I understand that.
And it's really cool. Like now I know what my thing is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And like, that was big for me, and to this day, it's like one of our cutest little. We got so many matching tattoos.
Oh, I love that. I love that story though. That you had to. She had to remind you who you are.
Yeah, and you got to reframe it for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. It's as we talked about. It's just that story you're telling yourself. It's like so powerful. That voice, how you talk to yourself. Yeah, so powerful. I am curious. It's like, how did you this gift of music? Is it like? It's just natural because you haven't had formal training for music.
It's an obsession. It's just an immersive obsession.
It's just listening to music. But like I've heard you explain like how to sing and talking about like Lainey Wilson and her voice. How'd you learn all that?
Well, just learning to sing, because I had to go from ground, kind of like bow hunting. Mm-hmm. Like in this really cool way. I got into bow hunting late, just like I did singing. Mm-hmm. So I had to like go learn an entire new thing again. Like I had to sit down and figure out what notes were, what key was, because I just wrote from the perspective of feeling. I understood melodies and stuff like that because I could hear.
So it wasn't storytelling. It was
storytelling, but it was like very like it was just always feeling storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like I knew how stuff made me feel. So how could I tell the story to make people feel that way?
And then the music has to obviously tie into that
for
because
sure.
That's a big part of the story.
Yeah, but in hip hop it was easier because you know you'd have pre-made tracks.
You just got a beat.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So then you just put your story over it. So I learned melodies, of course. You know what I mean. But ultimately it was just words and rhythmic driven. So it was just really storytelling-ish. But then getting into music, you got to. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be the only person on Music Row that doesn't know the theory of music. Because when you get in those rooms, those dudes do the Nashville number system. They talking like instead of saying guitar chords like, yo, this is an E minor into or whatever, they go, yo, it's a 1, 2, a 3. Okay. That's how much they've broken it down to a metric system.
Is that music theory?
But it's different. It's a Nashville number system. It's a part of music theory, but it's like Nashville has its own unique system that it numbered every chord on the guitar.
Oh, I see.
To make it like easier for session players. Mm-hmm. So when a session player come in, they wasn't having to chase all these weird chords around.
It's like it's like in basketball. Instead of saying forward, center, guard, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the one. Yeah. He's exactly. Yeah. But this chord is a this chord is a 2 instead of calling this because they work better that way. Yeah. And they call the Nashville number system. It's really cool. I haven't fully learned it yet because it is. It's easy once you know. If you really know the guitar, it's easy. Okay. I'm still learning the guitar, so it's not as easy. Yeah. But I just wanted to learn, and then learning my voice made me start listening to other people, and then it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Every time I always try to relate things to what, like, I love bringing things together comparison wise. Yeah. That anchor point. Of where you pull. Like for me, it used to be here-ish, but now because of the weight loss, it's back here until I get back with Wayne. Yeah. But it's like that. You find where you sing from. That becomes kind of your anchor point. Okay. And then you start realizing where other people sing from. You're like, oh, okay, he sings from this part. And like, once again, this is just me learning it from like being, Now when I hear somebody sing, I'm like, oh, they're singing from here. Mm-hmm. This is the area. This is the area. This is the area. They're like, like Tracy Lawrence, one of my favorite country music singers, famously sung through his nose. Mm. But that was part of his charm. Bob Dylan was like that too, but Tracy was way cleaner of a singer.
Give me an example.
Bob Dylan would be like, hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. It's just real nasally and real kind of swingy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he was trying to drill the note home.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine, like a rolling stone, like a complete unknown. He's hitting the notes, but he's just kind of talking them through his nose, but he's hitting them in the note because he's a guitarist and one of the greatest songwriters ever. Bob Dylan is the dude. But Tracy Lawrence was more like, won't you pay me a Birmingham? Little house is the way I am. Little house on the edge of town. Porch swinging all the way around. Put it there on a front yard swing. Like it was just way more, you see how it's more singy and more pretty. It's more songbirdy, but it's still coming through the same spot. Like a rolling stone, like a complete like that same, sister moves out, and her baby bed, brother runs around with feathers in his head.
That's nasal.
Yeah, it's kind of nasal.
Right. So what's an example, like another delivery system?
So like Lainey, we were talking about her because I've stood next to a lot of really powerful singers. Mm-hmm. Jennifer Hudson included.
Yeah.
Lainey's up there. Like Lainey's up there with Jennifer. Like when Lainey opens her mouth, it goes from the pit of her stomach up through her voice. And then there's something in her voice that gives it a bigger projection. So not only is she singing from the bottom of her gut, it's very guttural. Yeah. She's singing it just like this big, powerful voice. Like, dude, when she's doing that, I'm 5 generations of blazing a trail. I can't get that high right now because I haven't been up long enough. But it's like she's like, you see how to turn that far from the microphone. Yeah. Like Lainey is up there, dude. Right. When you see her singing "Save Me" with me and the microphone's 2 feet from her, it has to be. Right. She is a anomaly when it comes to singing. You
see people who sing when they open their mouth, there's just power that comes out. Just then there's like sometimes I think it's sometimes like pop princesses. Like I don't know if Tate McRae has a good voice. Maybe she does, but sometimes it's like more of a show than a delivery, than the power delivery. Yeah, for sure. I love the Whitney Houston. Like they wouldn't even need a mic. For sure. That's how Lainey is.
No, Luke Combs, Cody Johnson.
Okay.
Cody Johnson.
Same thing.
Dude, when Cody Johnson sings that last verse of Till You Can't, Until You Can't. I mean, dude, he is like, he's off that microphone a foot and a half when you watch him with his guitar like this up on his chest. 'Cause Cowboys, the higher the guitar, the closer to God. The higher the guitar, the closer to God you are. But the old Texas boys play high. But and Cody Johnson he's another one. It's just that big old, he won Vocalist of the Year this year. Male Vocalist of the Year at the CMAs. He deserved it. Stapleton's won it like 8 or 9 times. Luke's won it like 2 or 3. But it's like Cody's up there with Stapleton. Right. Like Cody's up there with Luke. Like Cody Johnson has a voice. But then there's other people that we talked about that it's not that their voice is extremely powerful. It's that their voice is just extremely rich. It's just really good.
Like, give me an example.
Morgan Wallen to me has the just easiest to listen to voice ever. You know what I mean? Like, and he's a great singer. Like, if Morgan wanted to sing really powerful, he does on that, girlie, you booze by the bed, you ain't leaving this room. He really takes it there. Yeah. But like, Morgan's also just so swaggy. Yeah. It's just so confident. And last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it out. She told me that I wish you were somebody I never met. But some baby, something's telling me this ain't over. Yeah, it's just so fucking Morgan. Yeah. And I love that because
there's no doubt who that is.
There's no doubt. Yeah. Note one, the moment his voice comes on, you're like, that's Morgan Wallen. You know what I mean? Like other artists, I won't say their names. We talked about them though. They're like note 3 or 4, which is still really fast. Yeah. I'm a 3 or 4 artist. For the record, I'm not dissing nobody.
I mean, the music stuff, the delivery, the different styles, so freaking interesting. I could sit here and listen to you talk about music forever.
I love it, man. This also comes from being a fan, just like listening to it so much and watching it, being proud of people and just seeing what works for people and why. Yeah. I'm so fascinated with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Of like, too. Why does that work for that person or not this person? Right. You know what I mean? What's the difference? Is it hours behind in the dark? You know what I mean? Or is it just unique signature things and the way they approach? Right. It's just really cool to watch. Yeah. A lot of cool nuances in art.
Well, and speaking of music and accomplishments. Yes, or it wasn't yesterday. I guess it was the day before. But your announcement Joe had an announcement from Craig Morgan about the Grand Ole Opry. Tell me about that.
So I don't know. I got called. I still haven't got to talk to Joe about it afterwards, see how this story worked out. But when they called me, they were like, "Hey man, Joe called. He wants you to get on the pod." And I didn't say why. I didn't ask. I was just like, dude, anytime Joe's a friend.
Yeah, no.
But two,
if he says, you're like, yeah, when?
Please, Joe, thank you. As many, you could call me once a week. I'd fly out here, be on your pod, like just to get to talk to you. I learned so much from talking to Joe too.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it's just like, please, God, thank you for sharing. Always, just anytime Joe shares his platform, it's just like he doesn't have to do that, dude. Just because we're friends, like he didn't know that to any of us. You know what I mean? But I just assumed Joe was like probably seen the weight loss stuff and wanted to talk about it. So in my mind, I'm like making notes about the weight loss. I'm like, oh, I know what Joe wants to talk about. This is about the weight loss. And management told me yesterday it wasn't even about the weight loss. That we reached out to Joe, that Grand Ole Opry and my management team had reached out to Joe and said, hey, we think this might be one of the coolest ways to ever do this.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the truth lies in the middle of all that, but what I thought, I never got to talk to Joe about it, but I just assumed I'm there to talk about weight. So I'm with my little notes. And at the end, he pulls up the video of me at the Grand Ole Opry. And the way he brings it up so casual, I thought we were getting out of there. You know how Joe will just get you out of the pod. He'll just be like, oh, that's it. You got anything? Let's watch this video and go. Some would laugh on the way out.
Yeah.
And I looked up and it was my Grand Ole Opry debut. And I immediately started getting emotional watching it because I thought he was showing it to me to show how far I'd came. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because this was me at like peak fat jelly roll.
Big boy.
And I remember being so emotional that night on stage because I just remember thinking, and I said this on Rogan's podcast, of being like, man, all right. At least when I die from this obesity, my kids won't think I was a loser. Mm. You know what I mean? Like I've done cool stuff. Like I've been at the Grand Ole Opry now. I've sold records. Like I've been on Joe Rogan. Like I've done cool things with my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how much I was just expecting death. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so I just thought I was like having that reflection. I was feeling what I was feeling then in that moment. Like, man, I remember how special that night was. Like, just, man, the Grand Ole Opry, what it means. And then Craig Morgan pops up on the screen. And I could tell by the background it was maroon. I was like, that's an Opry seat.
Yeah.
Even though they had it cut in really close. I'm so glad we're going to talk about this. They had it cut in really close, but right then I was like, that's an Opry seat. That's an Opry seat. And right then I was like.
Were you wondering like?
No, I knew. Right then I felt it. I was like, because then when it went out, he's like, who'd have thought I'd be back here at the I just threw my headphones off. I didn't actually hear Craig Morgan invite me to be a member for the record. I just know that's what he was doing.
Your reaction was incredible.
Dude, it was just so not. You heard, I cried about it the other night when we talked about it, just privately.
Yeah.
I just never, we have a Country Music Hall of Fame, which I have an exhibit in that I'm super proud of. It's been there for a couple of years, and I'm hoping to add more stuff to the exhibit. I'm just honored they think of me. Yeah. They put my face on the side of Country Music Hall of Fame. That meant a lot. But long before that building was there, the Grand Ole Opry is what everybody. Being a member of the Grand Ole Opry is the holy grail of country music. It is the Grammys of country music. It's the Oscars. It's the Tony. It's the Emmy. You know what I mean? It's the EGOT of country music. It's every big thing you can get in every other film. You know what I mean? It's like if you were a Broadway person, you spent your whole life wanting a Tony. If you're a country music singer, whether you want to admit it or not, something in you wanted to be a member or at least play the Grammy. Not even be a member. Most of us don't think that's realistic. We just want to play it. Like
I remember when I went there to watch you the first time I saw you, and I remember you taking me through the names because there's all the members there, and we were looking at all the names, and it's like you had a story for each one of them because you've grown up in Nashville, Antioch, but you know the Grand Ole Opry, you know the history, and then I was curious too, is like if you ever thought that. When you got into country, because I still see comments about like, oh, he's a rapper, drug dealer, or whatever. So did you think that country music would never accept you in that way in some ways?
Yeah, I think so.
And then to get this acknowledgement and acceptance, is that part of the why it means so much also? But it means so much because it's just an incredible accomplishment, but maybe for you specifically.
Yeah, man. It's like all the above, especially being a local boy too. But like I also keep thinking about God and his redemption plan of like, he redeemed me in the same place that I broke. You know what I mean? Like he brought me back. Like that is a story only God could be the author of. Mm-hmm. That you take a convicted felon rapper from Nashville, Tennessee, that in his late 30s gets in the country music business after just being nothing but a fuck up, being nothing but a failed musician, being nothing but a failed rapper, just this. The story over and over again, and then you not only bring him, you give him a night and let him have a debut at the Grand Ole Opry. to me, that was just the biggest good, like God showing, like, how can y'all deny this is me? How can anybody say this is anything but God's doing?
Yeah.
And then whenever they go, oh, Jelly Roll's a clone and he's satanic, God's like, we'll make him a member. Tell me that's not God. You know what I mean? Jelly don't have no relationship with God. We're going to send the biggest Christian music artist in this decade over to do a song with him of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brandon
Lake. Like God just, I feel like this is all God.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but I can't point, I don't know. I didn't deserve any of it besides being willing to show up. I wasn't, I was just willing.
Right. And every slight used against you, he's turned into, he's like, okay, well, I'll address that one.
Yeah. He's not country. Okay.
No.
I'll make him a member of the Grand Ole
Yeah, that's what it's just incredible. But I also want you to show me your tattoo on your arm.
Yes, I blew this so bad. So this will probably be a big story anyways. I have been, the first time, big news announcement kind of for me. I haven't been hiding. I just hadn't talked about it. I've been covering up all my old tattoos. Where I'm a new creation.
Because they were bad or negative memories.
Negative memories, negative stuff. And it's like a new man, new creation, new playground, new playmates, new everything.
Yep.
New tattoos. And I covered the left arm first, and I put Wits at Chapel on there, the old church. I put a big cross on the inside. Like I've got this, the lower part of this arm's almost finished. Mm-hmm. I just started this one before I went to Australia. And that's the Ryman Auditorium right there. WSM is the first radio station that broadcasted and still does broadcast the Grand Ole Opry live from WSM every 2 nights a week. It might be 3 now.
This says Grand Ole Opry right here.
That is the Grand Ole Opry stage right there, sitting on top of the Grand Ole Opry radio station logo, sitting on top of where the Grand Ole Opry first started at the Ryman Auditorium before it moved to the Opry House in the 70s. So like, that's how much the Grand Ole Opry means to me as a local. Just like as a country music fan, like having that right there is, this is, dude, I didn't tattoo that thing. I played it. To me, it was just, it was a local thing.
Right.
Like, it was just like getting the Ryman. Like,
and now you're a member.
I'm a member, dude. And they asked me to play the Grand Ole Opry the first time I played the Ryman. Oh. I was at the Ryman making my debut, the home of the original Grand Ole Opry before I moved to the Opry House. And then the Opry came and invited me there.
Well, when I went there to watch you, you had me go stand on the actual old wood.
Yep.
From the
circle right there in the middle.
From the circle, in the middle. It's like and explain to me the history. I just saw then.
You don't know how many musicians just heard that you stood there that are just losing their mind. Like, oh my God, I want to stand there so bad.
Well, I wanted to tell that story just so people understood how much the Opry means to you.
Yeah. Literally.
And now that's why that you had that reaction on Rogan's podcast. It's just so beautiful.
It's look up Grand Ole Opry. I haven't looked it up in a long time, but Grand Ole Opry membership memberships ask or whatever, how you look it up, however you look that up. I mean, my reaction, Luke Combs, Kelsey, Laney, like there's very few country artists stood on that stage and don't snot rocket the night somebody walks out.
Yeah.
What made it extra special for me was that I got to do it on the biggest platform ever with a dude I consider a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That set it up to surprise me with, just like one of the coolest things in country music.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
so crazy.
It's once again only a story that God could be the author of. You know what I mean? Like, it's truly a story that only God could be the author of.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, and it's it's just beautiful to see. And man, we have to go hunting.
Is it time to go kill a buck?
It's time to go kill a buck. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you and how much I love you and how thankful I am for your friendship.
Oh, dude, I love you too, brother. I love you. Love the whole family. Tanner, Shrew, the boys know it. Your family, Cam. My wife loves you. She's not very approving of my friend group at times, and every time she hasn't liked a friend, she's been right.
Yeah.
And she loves you.
Oh,
so every time she has liked a
nice.
friend, she's been right.
Love you too, Bunny.
Yeah. So thank you for your friendship, dog. It's truly been one of the, I love that word means a lot in your profession, is that it's an anchor in my life. Mm-hmm. It's one of my anchor points. I look at our friendship as an anchor point. It's a constant motivation. Every time you're on my YouTube feed, we talk all the time, but just seeing you on my YouTube feed.
Yeah.
And Joe said this yesterday. It was like, maybe you haven't found the Cam Haines friend yet that you're looking for, but you still have Cam. Mm-hmm. You have the shit talkers. Mm-hmm. You have the Keep Hammering Collective. Like until you find that right friend group, start manifesting you want it now and just listening. Yeah. Listening to the kind of people you want to be around. Mm-hmm. Just be the third quiet person in the room with us forever.
Well, that's well said. It's I'm very, very I never thought this would happen. I never thought we'd become such good friends, but it's not over yet. We're going to be hunting. We're going to be elk hunting. We're going to be running marathons, starting with the LA half coming up, and hunting tonight. So
Cam, under Music Man, I want to add ultra marathon runner and bow hunter.
that's right.
My bio has only said Music Man for like 3 years now.
Love it.
I want to add bow hunter and ultra marathon runner.
We're going to make it happen, brother. Well, thank you. Thanks for the time. Hope you guys enjoyed the talk. Keep hammering.
Someone to blame, they sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the fuel in dirt. Feeling like